Oh, I got on the phone. This guy amazes me.
Who's this?
Howard Stern, exclusive.
I was talking about him yesterday. I was watching the MTV Awards, and once again, for like the 5th year in a row, Sixx, the guy, he calls himself Sixx, he's a black dude, he got up on stage and made an announcement at the MTV Awards. Hey, do we have that, guys? I should play his announcement. He gets up and he starts talking about B.B. King, and then they throw him off the stage. Happens every year. He got up there again.
Yeah.
It's almost like if it was a white guy, he could never get away with it. You know what I mean? Like a white guy, they throw right out. Black guy, they're like, yeah, I think he's in a rap band. Because he looks like he's in some rap group.
Right, and he usually walks up with a bunch of other black people. So he looks like he belongs.
Yeah, who knows what's going on?
But then he walked up with the Foo Fighters that time.
Yeah.
And they let it happen.
They didn't know who he was. Can't find it? All right.
Yeah, hello?
Hey, Sixx. So, Sixx, tell me about the prep that went into this appearance. Didn't you think this year they would stop you?
Yeah, you know, in actuality, Howard, they was looking for me, man. And they knew that I was coming. They just didn't know how I was coming. You know?
Like he said on the air he would be at the Video Music Awards.
He announced it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and you know, I'm promoting a new DVD, which is called Jackass in the Hood. Everybody got to go get the DVD. That was the whole plan, is to really promote the DVD. But, you know, I saw that I scared Snoop, because I had to run from stage left to stage right.
Dude, so what do you want, a cell phone?
Yeah.
God damn, can't we call you on a hard line? The phone's in and out, there's a leak signal.
I can't keep track of the story.
Let's see.
Couldn't we have arranged to call him on a hard line? Can't I get anybody out there thinking?
Can you hear me now?
I mean, it's okay. I love cell phones. Like the whole conversation is usually, I'm on the cell phone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
And then people sneak into a better place, you know, like
How do I sound now?
How do I sound? I'm over here. How do I sound now?
Yeah, exactly. I'm standing next to the tower. How do I sound now?
Why can't my staff say, hey, we need you to be on a hard line at such and such a time?
Hey, man.
Sixx. Yeah, I'm talking to a guy who sneaks into the VMAs every year.
And he's laughing at you.
Yeah, and he's laughing at me.
Man, let me tell you something. It was funny. It was very, very funny because, like I said, these guys, they were looking for me. So, you know, this time I had to kind of like...
Hold on a second, because I'm really irritated with my staff. I want to yell at them. Gary, can I ask you a question? Is there a way that our guys could line up to have people on a hard line? It is a radio show. Is there a way that someone can use their brain out there?
Yeah, I don't think anybody knew that this wasn't a hard line, and when John called them, it sounded good. So we didn't know it was a cell phone.
Well, from now on, make it part of the setup. Is there a number we can call you on a hard line? Okay. This has been going on for 20 years already with the cell phones. I have an idea. Just ask people. See, you're laughing at me. That's disturbing me, too.
No, man. You gotta regulate, baby.
Do you have a phone that we can call you back on in 2 seconds?
Yeah, let me,
Hold on. I'm going to have somebody arrange what they should have done yesterday. Hold on.
Okay.
This is silly. Hey, who wants to struggle hearing a guy?
You don't want to miss anything Sixx has to say.
Yeah, it's tough enough.
Right. It's tough enough to be interested.
He might say B.B. King for no reason, and we'll miss it.
Wait, here's what he did.
Man, how y'all gonna forget me, man? I told y'all, man, without B.B. King, rock and roll wouldn't be possible, man. And I already told y'all without, you know that, right? My name is Sixx, and we get ready to do this thing, baby. You dig what I'm saying?
Meanwhile,
check game, homeboy. Slide over to the left a little bit. This for the fans. Slide over to the little bit, nephew. Slide over to the left, nephew. You're doing too much. Yeah, later for that.
Hey, this is for the fans.
It is for the fans.
What, were they dragging him away at that point?
They finally figured it out. What's funny about it is that he gets to do it every year.
I know. They can't stop him.
You back there, Sixx?
Yes.
See? Hear the difference? I don't.
Are you sure this is a hard line?
You sound worse.
Sixx, is there a better phone we can call you back on?
Is this a hard line?
Yeah, this is a hard line.
Are you sure that's not a wireless?
Are you on a wireless phone?
I'm on a, I'm going to give you another number, okay?
Yeah, Sixx.
Oh, hold on.
You have a phone that actually has a wire attached to the phone?
A hard-wired phone.
A wire that goes into the phone and then a wire that goes into the wall.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, like, you should have a cord hanging from this phone.
John, tell him you want a phone that is hard-wired.
Is there a pay phone you can run to?
Why don't you sneak into MTV and call us from there?
Later, nephew.
You're doing too much.
All right, nephew.
Step over to the left.
Step over to the side.
Yeah.
Nephew.
I love how he says B.B. King and no one says anything, and he goes, yeah, that's right, you know.
And then he says, and we're about to do this thing. What thing?
What thing are you going to do, Sixx?
Who knows?
That's when you get nervous.
All right, let me see if I can get him on now. No, I guess I can't. Well, so much for a well-oiled machine. Hey, tomorrow, a polygraph test with Robin.
Why am I being polygraphed?
Because...
What crime have I committed?
Because you were accused on the air of not liking Beth, my girlfriend, and we're going to ask you the question tomorrow, do you like Beth? And you said polygraph me, so we're doing it.
No, I didn't say polygraph me.
Oh.
The guy said polygraph me.
Oh, all right.
And you said okay. I never said okay.
Yes, you did.
Oh, please.
You nervous?
Ridiculous. Well, you know these. Remember you took a polygraph test and failed, and you still swear to this day you didn't lie?
Well, we'll see how you do. Maybe you'll pass.
I'm sure I'll pass. I pass every time. But, you know, I just don't want any
flack.
Shenanigans. I don't know.
No shenanigans. Hey, Sixx.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Now we can hear you.
Okay. We're good, Howard?
Yeah, now we're good, brother.
Okay.
All right. Let me understand something. MTV was looking for you. They know every year you sneak up on the stage and you get on live television.
Exactly.
Well, how did you pull it off this time?
The same way, man. Like I said, Hollywood is the Matrix. I came in through the red carpet, but I came, like, inconspicuous. Like, I didn't wear a suit. I wore, they thought I was like a rocker.
Yeah, so in other words, they think you're like a rap guy.
No, they thought I was a rocker this time. They just thought I was like in a rock band.
Yeah. And you walk in with a bunch of people, and do you do interviews on the red carpet?
Exactly.
Goodness.
Once they saw me doing interviews, it's like no question about who I am. And, like I said, I have a new DVD coming out called Jackass in the Hood. That's www.jackassinthehood.com.
So is that you sneaking into all these events?
Exactly. And not only that, they got me with one segment where I got a handcuff on and I'm trying to rent a car. Like just urban black dudes doing jackass stuff.
All right, so when you were on the red carpet, what companies interviewed you? What broadcast outlets?
Entertainment Tonight, Access Hollywood. I mean, just like a slew of them.
And what do they ask you?
Oh, they ask me, so how are you? And I already have one friend of mine in the paparazzi. And he's like, yeah, you're coming out with this new movie, Jackass in the Hood. How is it? And then once they hear that, other reporters eavesdrop on other reporters. So once they hear him ask me a question, then all of them ask me the same question.
Do you tell them your name is Sixx?
Exactly.
And they don't care. The Sixx sounds like he's someone important.
Yeah, they figure they just don't recognize him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And how do you get onto the red carpet? In other words, you must need some sort of credential.
Yeah, you do. Like I said, the little people are my friends. So I'll get the limo. I'll get in the limo. Sometimes I'll leave from like the studio, where a lot of the people are. It'd be so many people, they don't know who with them, Right. And now since I've been like on your show and a few shows, my face is like, so they don't question me. It's like, oh, he's a celebrity, All
right. So
how do you get a seat inside the auditorium?
Oh, of course. They got seat fillers, so you just tell the seat filler to get out. You have to keep moving. Everybody keeps moving.
Oh.
He's got it all down.
So you walk over to the seat filler and say, get out of my seat.
Exactly.
Wow. And then they say, well, we're saving this seat for Madonna?
No, because you'll know if they're saving it because they have Madonna's name on it.
I see. So you then what made you go on right before Snoop Dogg? Why did you pick that moment in the show?
Because in 2001, I did it for Video of the Year. and I wanted to do a second video of the year. So I got 2 video of the years, 1 Grammy, and I've never recorded an album.
But you appeared to walk out from the side of the stage when I watched the tape. How do you get to the side of the stage like that?
Well, I was on stage left, so I had to run across the stage. Mm-hmm. And as I'm running, I see Snoop Dogg. I mean, he's like so scared that it's not even funny. So it kind of really threw me off because I was supposed to, you know, see Jackass in the hood.
Sixx, how did you get to the side of the stage?
Yeah, I mean, in other words, once you leave your seat and walk up onto the stage, I mean, someone must be checking you out.
Oh, no, I was in the front row.
I see. So you walked from the front row right up. So when they came back from commercial, you walked from the front row right up onto the stage.
Exactly.
I see.
Yep. It was all simultaneously, you know.
Mm-hmm. And why is it always about B.B. King?
You know what? I said that because B.B. is my man, but not only that, it's because I wanted them to know, hey, this is the same dude, you know? Mm-hmm. This is the same guy.
That's your thing now, and everyone will know it's you.
Exactly.
All right. Mike, go ahead. You have a question for Sixx, who snuck on stage at the Video Music Awards.
Yeah, what's up, Howard? Hey, Sixx, what do you do for a living? What's your real job? How do you make money?
I'm a filmmaker. I produce films and music videos.
And you make money?
Yeah.
And how do you get to sit in the front row?
He just told you.
Yeah,
he just said it. Well, there you go. Sixx, once again, how many years in a row is this?
This is second year, or really third year in a row. First year for Grammy. I just want to say, man, McMonagle, Perry, and McHugh, those are my lawyers. Those are guys that keep me out of jail. I love them in Philadelphia, man.
So this is your acceptance speech.
Exactly. You know, and everybody got to go. Go to the website. You can either go to GrammyCrasher.com or JackassInTheHood.com. Order the DVD. It's funny as hell.
Bill, you're on the air. Final question for Sixx.
How's it going, Howard?
Hey.
Is this the Spade you were going to have on today? I thought you were having David Spade.
Well, we are having David Spade on.
Oh, man, wrong Spade. I'm sorry. I was holding for David Spade.
All right, thank you. Yes, Gary.
Your magic is real.
I got a question for Sixx. So after they throw you out, don't they just throw you out on the street? Because he was telling us yesterday that after he got thrown out, he went and crashed a press conference that Drew Barrymore and Ben Stiller were doing.
Exactly.
What do you mean? You mean they threw you off the stage, and then backstage they interviewed Ben Stiller and Drew Barrymore?
Yeah, well, they threw me out on the side of the stage, so they had like 4 entrances. So as they threw me out on the side, I run into Drew Barrymore and Ben Stiller, and I crashed their interview as well.
But I don't understand.
I told them that they need to give 10% of their check to the New York City firefighters and police officers.
Wait, hold, slow down. Don't they escort you? I would imagine at this point there's like 5 security guys on you who take you and throw you out of the building.
Those guys know me. They were like, Sixx, you're crazy. You know, have a good one. Pretty much everybody in the staff was laughing. Because this is my thing, Howard, so they know me, you know?
But did they take you to the street, or did they just take you backstage?
Oh, they just took me backstage, got me something to drink, and then they told me to exit.
And then you
crashed.
And then you just walk right into Ben Stiller's press conference.
Exactly. I literally, when they opened the door, I literally was in their interview.
And what did you say there? Again, B.B. King?
Yeah, no, I said, hey, what's going on? This is Sixx. I said, hey, you know, Ben, you need to give 10% of your check to the New York City firefighters and police officers. And Drew Barrymore, you're making a couple hours these days, so you need to give 20% of your check to the New York City firefighters. And, like, all the police officers, firefighters over there, like, yeah.
And what did she say? Was she willing to do this?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You're not going to say anything different with 100 police officers looking at you.
Let me ask you this right now so that the people at the Video Music Awards can hear this. Will you again crash next year?
Yes.
You will?
Yes.
You will be up on stage and you will again talk about B.B. King.
You got it. I am the ultimate all-time party crasher. I'm making America laugh. I made them laugh before we went to war. I made them laugh in a messed up economy. You know, it's going down.
Are you doing anything illegal?
No.
No.
But is he going to do other events?
Of course.
Okay, what else do you have planned?
What else will you crash?
You know what my ultimate thing is? The Oscars.
I see.
Will we see you at the Oscars this year?
You're going to see me, Howard. It's going down.
Wow. Look at you.
It's going down, Howard. You know?
Very good. Okay.
It's going down. I host Last Call with Carson today, so that'll be out September 12th on NBC.
I just know if I did this for a living, I wouldn't make a living.
Jail.
Yeah, I'd be in jail, and I'd never make any money doing it.
Nah.
Yeah. I don't understand how he's doing this, and not like. And you don't have any other full-time job.
Yeah, well, I produce music videos, so I'm on the road all the time.
Whose music video do you produce?
What band did you produce?
Man, from all the way from, like, Eve to so many different hip-hop artists, man. You know, so it's...
All the way from, like, Eve to so many.
Yeah. I do a lot of independent artists as well.
All right, listen, Sixx, good luck to you again. What's your website?
It's www.jackassinthehood.com or GrammyCrasher.com. Pick the DVD up. It is out right now.
What's weird about this, if you want to put any kind of spin on it, is that imagine if he was, like, violent or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it shows you anybody can get into these awards.
Well, they do check you. I had to go through security.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, so they check you well.
But security isn't working. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, but you're not even part of the show, and you're up on stage. I mean, any terrorist could get up there and could have, like, you know, done anything.
Nah. The security is tight. It's just that I'm good. That's all. I just come in with an entourage. If I came in with you, they're not going to second-guess me. They might check me, but they're not going to second-guess me.
Yeah, Steve, you're on the air.
Yo, dude, this guy's a sham. He's faking the whole thing.
What do you mean?
When's the last time you got a paycheck, dude, and whose name was on it?
Mine. I have my own business.
Would you
know about that?
Did you give yourself $1 for selling weed?
Huh?
You gave yourself $1 for selling weed?
What is weed?
Dude, you're a freak.
What is weed?
You're a freak, dude.
Oh, if that's the stuff you smoke, you should know.
Yeah, I smoke it now, and I make more sense to you.
I bet you do.
All right. Well, there we go. Thank you so much, Sixx, and good luck with your getting into various places career.
Yeah, we'll see you at the Oscars.
Yes.
Hey, I'm in a new movie with Ricky Schroeder.
Really?
Yep. It's called Black Cloud. It'll be out in January.
What, are you an extra?
No. I'll play a fast-talking Don King character.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that. Thanks, Sixx.
Got it.
All right.
Later, Howard.
Later.
Monica Perry McHugh. Y'all guys, take it easy.
That's Sixx.
Sixx has got it going on, apparently.
Evidently.
I love how that last caller exposed Sixx as being a sham.
With the weed. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back. Insane Clown Posse stopping by. Also, Craig Kilborn stopping by. David Spade stopping by. It's a very, very busy show today. Tomorrow, polygraph test with Robin, a hot Playboy model, and the guy who will come in and explain the DNA test results.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And
Did you do it?
I haven't. I'm going to do it tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And as a matter of fact, I'm inspired to do it because Artie found out he's 25% American Indian.
Has Artie applied to be a casino owner yet?
He should, man. 25% is huge.
I'm more interested in the income tax stuff. I was told that it doesn't matter what tribe you're from. You don't have to pay taxes if you're Native American.
Really?
By the way,
yeah.
You know, at first I thought, well, how can this be? But then when Artie explained to me that he has a grandfather that nobody knew.
Right.
I mean, nobody really does know a lot about the guy.
And it turns out he's an American Indian. I mean, really?
And you know what else I was told? That I get all the taxes I've paid back.
Ooh. So who are you talking to?
I haven't pursued anything yet. It was vacation.
Artie took a whole Indian name now? Loses at horses?
You know,
people excited about that.
Some rednecks called Dana an Indian lover. Okay. I thought that was ridiculous.
Later this week, Harvey Pecor of the movie American Splendor.
Yes.
Coming soon.
Pecor or Pecor?
Pecor.
I think it's Pecor.
And one of the things I'm really excited about coming soon, rapper Mystical.
Mystical?
I keep bumping up against the wall.
Keep bumping up against...
What's Mystical doing here? I thought he was in jail.
They let him out.
We're letting him out for this important interview.
Yeah, they're going to be here.
I guess he's not in jail. You must have him confused with someone else.
Well, that's possible.
Yeah, Mr. Cap. This guy can rap. It's against the wall.
Yeah, I know I let the time to fall.
Oh, my God.
But until you see me,
You ain't seen nothing. Bounce back.
Hey, don't mess up my song.
Yeah, I know I let the time to fall.
All right, we'll be back right after these words. News, real quick, right before Insane Clown Posse comes in. I just love this. I have been a target of a group called the American Family Association for so long. That's Donald Wildman, who's a religious fanatic. He has worked against my sponsors. He has worked to get sponsors off the air. The American Family Association hides behind the guise of religion. They're against free speech. They have a religious agenda. They go around printing false statements about me and send them to sponsors. They intimidate sponsors to keep them from advertising with me. Some of our sponsors fall for it. Some of them get intimidated, and some of them don't, and most of them don't. And I congratulate all of my sponsors for recognizing free speech and enjoying this program, and know that my fans go out and support all their products. But here it is, an American Family Association radio producer is accused of possessing child pornography.
Oh.
Off-air producer Terry Dwayne faces federal charges after police raided his Mississippi home, seizing his computer. Stevens has been an employee at Donald Wildman's Tupelo-based Christian radio network since 2000. So far, they apparently haven't taken any action regarding his employment. So I don't know if he's guilty or not. The courts will decide, but there you have it. Interesting news.
Well, I wonder what would have made him look at child pornography, being around Donald Wildman so often.
I don't know. Maybe he ought to listen to this show a little bit. Maybe get out some of his frustration. There's nothing wrong with, by the way, and there's nothing wrong with listening to conversations. Absolutely nothing. It won't harm you in the least. Tonight on E!, porn star Jill Kelly and Jenna Hayes meet Jeff the drunk. Jeff craps his pants, then passes out in the tickle chair. It's very disturbing.
He looked comfortable.
Yeah, it's really great. It's great, great radio. Better television, in fact.
Whoa.
Yes, Jeff. Yes. Whoa. Whoa.
I just remember the guys trying to sit him in the tickle chair. He basically falls into it.
I'm a fan of Insane Clown Posse. Even though they think I'm not, they don't.
Why don't you tell me one of your favorite songs of theirs?
No, I'm a fan of theirs, not their songs.
Oh,
I wouldn't know one from the other. I would like to play some of their music if I could find it somewhere. But they are very, very successful. They're one of the most successful bands monetarily.
How could this be?
Well, they've got a huge following. And they're huge in Detroit.
So they sell a lot of records and they make a lot of money touring, is what you're telling me?
And I have never seen the guys, Shaggy 2 Dope and Insane Violent J. I have never seen them outside of their clown makeup, and I probably never will.
I saw...
You saw Violent J
on the street one day without the clown makeup.
Wow, hey, Violent J is slimming down.
Look at you. You're getting healthy.
Shaggy 2 Dope always was thin.
Yeah.
Shaggy 2 Dope wearing some sort of ace bandage on his hand. It looks like he injured himself.
What did he do?
Did you get in a fight?
I wouldn't call it a fight there, Howard. I'd call it more of an ass whipping.
Your ass got whipped? No.
Come on. My hand got whipped, but that's about it.
Whose ass did you whip?
It was during that day where the power went out.
Oh, really?
It was hot out. Some kid popped his lips off.
What did he say to you?
He threw a beer can at my face.
Why would he do that? Did he know that you were... Did he know you were you?
I don't even know if he knew he did it.
Oh, I see. It was an accident.
No, he was just out of his mind. Drunk and high.
And you beat him up?
Yeah.
Well, I don't blame you. He threw something at you. You have every right to do that.
What are you going to do, you know?
Yeah, so.
I'd have a wrist brace on, too, if I'd have been there.
Right. Violent J, how'd you lose the weight?
Man, it wasn't so much that I wanted to lose weight as much as I discovered, like, I like to run at night. You know what I mean?
You've been running?
Really? Look at you. In the makeup?
Well, see, I don't know.
Because that's got to be rough.
Been in bedroom windows and running and hopping fences.
Right.
No, but, yeah, man, you know, that's really what it was.
It looks like Robin lost some weight, too.
Yeah, 70 pounds.
See, man.
She likes to run at night also.
What were you just talking about, some product?
Let me talk to you, Trim Spa.
That's what it is.
Let me tell you something.
Worldwide.
People say to me, how is it that you think Insane Clown Posse is successful? I'm going to read you some statistics, okay, just so you understand who these two gentlemen are.
That's right.
Explain to us.
ICP moves about $15,000 of merchandise a day, mostly through online sales, a pace that would mean nearly $6 million in annual revenues. So while you quietly, you're not as, let's say, visible as Puff Daddy with his clothing line and things, you're saying Insane Clown Posse materials.
What are they selling? What kind of merchandise?
Yeah, what are you selling?
Anything you can imagine.
Name it.
Anything you can imagine.
We make it.
See, we move through the underground. We don't just have a tunnel, but we have a whole world dug in the underground.
But you don't get...
There's an alternative to mainstream right now.
They call us Harriet Tubman because we run with the underground.
Right, just like Harriet Tubman, the famous Black Underground. Slave days.
I'm smart, man.
Yeah.
Black Harriet Tubman?
That's right.
Oh.
Was she moving merchandise?
Absolutely.
Moving it for us.
Yeah. But let me say, you guys don't get respect. In fact, in your new book, of course, ICP Behind the Paint, available.
It's a good book.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good book.
You even say, I think Howard Stern likes us, but I don't think he likes our music, doesn't know our music. You feel Robin doesn't even like you personally.
What?
That's right, you do write that.
I do like you personally.
No.
It's ridiculous.
It says here, and I'll read right from the book. The truth is, I don't think Howard Stern really takes ICP that seriously as a musical group. He has bands that he personally likes to listen to, like Marilyn Manson and others that he told us he likes. Unfortunately, just like pretty much the rest of America, he just looks at us as a novelty joke band. Hey, that's okay. He's still cool because he has us on the show 3 times a year. And he says, Robin Quivers hates ICP.
No, I don't say that.
What are you talking about?
I didn't say that. That I don't think she likes us on the count that she claims she's seen me in front of Virgin Records paintless, and I ignored her and brushed her off to the side, and that never happened.
Here we go.
Remember the old school? And then usually, if we're getting dissed, you know, out of anybody in this room, it's usually Robin. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's cool, though. But I'm saying that's what happens.
But you guys are here to say you are big recording artists. You are a major force. You're selling $6 million a year just in merchandise, and your records are doing well.
We just don't want to be like, okay, like, we know we'll never be invited to give away an award at MTV.
Why won't MTV get behind you guys still? You've proven yourself.
Do you guys make videos?
Yeah.
We don't make that money. That's why we're not part of the corporate ball that makes, like, the industry money.
Nobody at MTV has anything to do with our success. Nobody at radio except, you or us getting arrested, being on TV that way, you know what I'm saying?
How do you explain?
But aside of all the controversy, like we don't have any hits.
How do you explain that at least 40 or 60 people with full clown makeup were downstairs today, early in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, waiting for you, and Paul McCartney...
This is how I explain it. I'll tell you exactly how I explain it. Because when you're at a red light and you're listening to a song that's on like a radio station and you're feeling it and feeling personal to it, and then all of a sudden a car pulls up next to you and some other kid's got the same song on because he's listening to the same station, and you're just like, you don't feel as close to that music. But if you're into ICP, you got to look for it to find it. It's yours.
You own it.
And
no radio station has
what you're listening to. Nobody's familiar with any of our songs. There is nobody that's like, I like some of ICP stuff, but the rest sucks. Because we don't have one hit. Nobody's waiting for
people buy your albums and listen to the entire album.
Right. Chances are you're not going to be in your car listening to ICP and somebody's not going to pull up next to you bumping that same song.
Were you offended by the fact that Insane Clown Posse, your band, was voted the worst band ever by Blender Magazine? Come on, that's got to hurt.
Yeah, man. We love that.
At least they put you down below Celine Dion.
Right.
Like Kenny G. I don't give a rat's ass about Kenny G, but isn't that an insult?
Imagine if we'd have been number 19 or 27.
Yeah, just
that would have really sucked.
But wait a second.
We're number 1 or something, you know?
You must have been offended by that.
We were number 1. That means we're the most different, outrageous.
Wait. I read a statement by you that said, how could Blender Magazine call us the worst band ever? When they said our last album, they gave it 3 stars.
Yeah, that's true.
So you had to be offended by that. They're not being fair, are they?
It's just whoever writes the article, you know?
If you look at the article, though, they got, like, Nelson on there. And when, you look back at Nelson and see those 2 rock and roll wolves with the long bleach hair, that was funny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But are you in the same category?
No, because we're here for good, and we've proven that. It's been 10 years now.
If you had a guy from Blender Magazine on the phone right now, what would you say to him?
Man, I got to be honest with you. I'm not going to front. We've been claiming to be the world's most hated band for 3 years.
Rob.
Yeah.
Rob Tannenbaum is the senior editor of Blender Magazine.
What's up, homie?
Hey, how you guys doing?
They're not saying... They're saying you're the worst band musically in the history of music.
Well, the whole thing is...
That's what they're saying.
Well, here goes the thing. This Rob guy on the phone right now, he's probably a flop musician that was in a band that didn't make it.
Rob, is that true, what Shaggy 2 Dope says?
Well, the selection of them as as Blender Magazine's worst band ever really was a collective decision, so it's got nothing to do with with my musical accomplishments or lack of.
In other words, he sucked.
Right? You did a flop band.
So in other words, is Shaggy Too Dope correct? Were you in a band?
Yes, I was.
Yes. All music critics always were in a band.
And what's his name, Rob? Rob is looking at us sitting on a Howard Stern show in clown paint. You know what I'm saying?
What band were you?
With one hit, and he can't stand it. He can't stand it. And
are you jealous in a way, Rob? Seriously, now that's a good point the band is making. Those guys...
There's only one thing that I'm jealous of, and that's their money.
But in all seriousness, they get to go up on stage or perform. They have girls.
They do all the stuff you dreamt of doing.
What we want to do. We rock shows. We rock shows.
Rob, was it your dream at one point to rock shows?
No.
What was your dream? What was your band?
My band was called White Courtesy Telephone, and the only reason that I was ever in a band was to write about the experience.
Wait, you were in WCT?
Exactly.
I didn't know that.
World famous.
Much respect.
So, Rob, what about that? I applaud the list because you put the Doors on there. I think the Doors are horrible, and I get more mail about that every time I say it. But
they have their followers.
The Doors are crushingly overrated, and in fact, they ruined rock and roll for years and years.
Well, the thing is, they're legendary, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we feel honored being the number one hated.
Especially number one.
We're worse than the Doors.
Yeah, Mick Jagger's solo album.
When was the last time anyone mentioned Insane Clown Posse in the same breath as the Doors and Mick Jagger?
Right, so that's the first time the boys have been on any list with anybody of that prominence.
See, that's the thing. That's why you're not hearing complaints out of us about it.
Well,
my only question is, my question to you, Rob, and your whole committee, or whoever made the decision, is how can, just answer this, how can 2,000 people, real people, regular people, pack into a venue, sing every lyric, and have the best time of their life? I mean, a great show worth every penny to them. They love it. They had a great time. There's not one fight between 2,000 people. And then, as they file out and go home, how can you just say, well, they suck? Who are you or that committee to say something sucks? I don't like Waylon Jennings, but if he's putting 13,000 people in some country bunking bar, I don't think that sucks. I got mad respect for him. I'm like, okay, he's doing his thing. How can you just say, or your committee? And who are you talking about? According to what? Cool people? According to radio and MTV statistics? We never wanted to be part of that. How do we suck? How can that be when all of these people are having such a good time and we're doing such a good thing, but we suck apparently? Who the hell are you or your committee to say when something sucks?
How do you respond to that, Rob?
When something as successful as us suck. When you and the Water Transfer Factory, or whatever the hell your band was called, fell off the map years ago. And everybody else in your stupid committee, everybody else in your committee probably fell off too. They were all part of Pigface and all these other stupid no-name bands that fell off. How can you possibly say we suck when we're as successful? In other words, we're making somebody happy.
How do you respond to that, Rob?
I have a bad feeling that this is going to ruin my group's chances of opening for Insane Clown Posse. I think we just blew it.
Only thing you can open is your butt cheek so I can kick you in the ass, brother.
Hey, you can kick me in the ass. It's not going to make your music any better.
Okay. Check this out. If we're the worst...
What were the criteria, Rob, to pick ICP as the worst band? In other words...
Howard, hold on a second, because I want to answer that question. You said that there are 2,000 people who come to Insane Clown Posse shows?
Yeah.
Well, you could also find 2,000 people who drink their own urine and like it, but that doesn't mean I want to try it out.
All right, yeah, but it's our music.
But they are attracting people, not drinking urine.
What the hell kind of point was that?
I don't know what kind of shows he goes to.
They're not paying $4 to drink their own urine. It's our music they're coming to hear.
Rob's going to pee conventions or something.
I challenge Rob to find 2,000 people, by the way, who like to drink their own urine.
In one room.
Yeah.
Maybe 5.
Artie's obviously never been on the internet.
You're right.
What is it, Baba
Not
Boohai?
at Kenny porn sites like you, brother. What are you talking about? What is the point?
You know what? I wanted to ask Rob, because I thought the biggest insult on the list, aside from saying they're the worst band, was how do you say that Air Supply is a better band than ICP?
Really? Well, he's willing to say it. But what is the criteria?
All musical taste is subjective.
Right.
And the thing is this. There are people on that list. There are people on Blender's list of the 50 worst bands that Insane Clown Posse agrees with. Everybody thinks that there are some people who should be on the list and some people who shouldn't have been on the list.
Hey, I thank you guys for putting us...
Clown Posse are on the list.
Well, come on. I mean, it's still a big insult, and the boys are putting a good spin on it, but the fact of the matter is, what is the criteria for them being the worst band in the history of music?
It wasn't an easy decision, Howard. I'm not going to pretend like it was.
Right.
Somehow David
who were they up against in that case?
It was David Hasselhoff on the list.
Well,
David Hasselhoff rocks, man.
We
a lot better than we do, obviously.
You should see the mosh pit at the shows, man. It's off the hook.
Howard, we could have filled the list with easy choices and, shot ducks in a barrel. But it's too easy to just put in 50 soft rock bands or 50 mellow singers. We didn't put Olivia Newton-John.
All right, so maybe they're not.
Why are they the worst?
So maybe they're not the worst.
Target,
maybe they're not the worst. Maybe it's sort of.
Why wasn't the Tunnel Water people on the list? Obviously, you guys suck worse than we do. Why weren't you guys on the list? You never sold a record in your life.
I argued to put my own band on the list.
I'm sure you did.
It makes you feel better. Vanilla Ice beat you guys out. He's better than you.
Check this out. You know what I feel about that list, and I honestly believe it. I would have really been hurt had we not been number one.
Sure. Well, you guys are flattered, right?
Well, they say that, but I don't think they are. They would like to be honored for their music.
We've been
They don't want to be on the list at all unless they're number one.
We've been saying we're the most hated band. That only tells me we're the most outrageous, different, unique thing there is.
All right,
we're the most player hated. We're the most unusual to the mainstream, to the public. We're the most outrageous thing. When you read the little thing what they wrote about us, we're trying to get some whatever they said.
Rob, thank you for joining us. He's the senior editor of Blender Magazine, Rob Tannenbaum, and thank you for explaining the list.
All right, thanks, Howard.
All right, there you go, Rob Tannenbaum. Eric, you're on the air with ICP. And St. Cloud Posse's book, ICP Behind the Paint, is available at FYE stores nationwide.
And what kind of revelations do we have?
You know what? I just can say this. I hope we suck this bad for another 10 years.
Yeah, right. You want to keep going.
I hope to God we can continue sucking.
You want to suck just like this.
Just like this and do it again for another 10 years. That'll be the bomb.
Yeah, go ahead. You're on the air. Jason, you want to say something? Now's your chance. Well, I guess Jason
fell asleep.
Yeah, let's go to Larissa. Yes, Larissa.
Hi. Hello?
Yes.
Hello. Hey. I just want to show some clown love. You guys never get any love on here.
Man, you know what, though? It seems like more and more we are.
Yeah, it seems like people are liking them. Yes. YZ, go ahead.
Oh, Howard, it's YG1 Tours on the Wigger Show.
Yes.
You remember me?
No.
No.
Okay, against the Axis a while back. I just want to say I'm a fan of ICP.
Well, there you go.
You guys mad love, and you have no idea what these guys got musically unless you see them live. I've seen them at Woodstock one time. I heard them do F the World, and it changed my whole entire mind. I went to see him at Birch Hill in Jersey, playing with Mars like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
One of the best damn shows I've ever seen in my life.
See, there you go. In fact, I was impressed by the amount of fans that were outside the studio today. Tell me some of the things specifically that I can buy on your website. Like, if I'm a huge ICP fan, what can I get?
Jerseys, lunchboxes, movies,
action figures, comic books.
Movie?
We got a movie.
Okay.
We also run our own wrestling promotion. We put DVDs out, about 3 a year.
So $6 million a year in just merchandise.
But it's more than
guys
that.
are
we run
millionaires.
a whole record company. We got groups on tour right now that are out touring right now and filling houses. We're starting careers off. We're showing a whole way.
So you laugh at all of this
without the regular,
going through the regular channels.
You'll still be successful, man. It might not be looked at and respected by everybody at first. That's because it's new. But that's why they won't play our video. That's why they won't talk about us, because they have nothing to do with this. They're talking about MTV.
Right. That Rob guy should come down here and talk to those kids down in the lobby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell them we suck.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's good to them, so how could they, what are they, just wrong people?
Yes, Mike, go ahead.
What is he saying?
Howard, what's up, my hook-nosed Jew bastard? Listen,
Thank you.
The only thing that sucks about these guys is their attitude and the fact that they hide behind their makeup.
Will you ever take off the makeup? Will you ever come out?
Who are you two guys?
Who are you guys? How do I even know it's the same two guys?
Let me just say this about our attitude.
Mother's brother. Adam Sandler. I put on his paint and I turned into Shaggy.
Will you ever come out from, like Kiss, had the makeup for years and then took it off?
I don't know. We got no plans.
There's super photos of us without makeup in that book.
All over the internet.
Oh, yeah?
There is. Yeah. So I would buy the book just to see that. I want to see what the hell you guys look like.
I mean, we used to, like never take pictures with people or not something without makeup on, I would just like, whatever.
Because
you know
people got pictures
live
in
your
their
life.
watch. People got pictures in their necklace, cameras. You know, it's pointless trying to...
Got you walking out of Wendy's just like, look.
So you try to hide your face because it would be fun to always be anonymous, but now people, because they have so many cameras, they do discover you and they take you. Yeah, it's become a thing.
What are they like at home? I mean, what's the private life like?
Maybe girls at this point, like a steady girlfriend?
Hey, I'm a single man, and I see, when I used to come on the show, I was fronting. I had a woman at home.
Oh, is that right?
See, I wasn't faithful, but I had a woman at home that was...
Did you get a divorce?
No, I never was married or nothing.
Right.
But I happen to be a single man. I might be able to meet something in Hollywood and take her home now. You know what I mean? I can do anything.
And what about you, Shaggy?
I got a fiance.
Oh, is that right?
I'm a family man.
Really?
That's right.
When did this happen?
I don't know.
Where did you take her to propose? I mean, this is very romantic.
How did that come
Right in the living room at the house.
Without the makeup on or with it?
No, I make sure I put it on first. I'll run up in my bathroom and put it on.
She must be a hot chick. I mean, you can get any girl you want being a super famous rock star.
She looks good, man.
Yeah, right. And did you knock her up? Is that the problem?
No, she's cool.
Yeah.
When did you meet her? I mean, before all the success or...
A couple years ago.
Yeah?
He had to be successful first. He wasn't going to be getting hot
I
chick.
couldn't get a girl that caliber being a scrub.
Exactly.
Just to say what that dude said that called, just so you know.
Oh, here's the new book. Let me see what you look
All
like.
right.
God, I would have recognized you, too.
I was shocked that I recognized Violent J without his makeup. But that's who that is.
And I sure as hell wouldn't recognize Shaggy, too, though.
Really?
No.
You must have been really shocked, because that wasn't me.
Let me see some of these people been waiting all morning for you.
Listen, I just got to say this. The reason why people think we got a bad attitude is because simply, man, we're the people's people. Like, we're not Hollywood. Like when I came on last time, I told you about when Pam Anderson asked me out. No, I never hit it. I never went out with her. But I'm a regular dude, man. I'm a dude from Detroit.
Come on. If you're making $6 million a year, you're hardly regular.
Oh, but we are, though. That's what makes us
You'd
fresh.
be surprised.
You're not living in a trailer.
And you'd be surprised how quick we run through that money.
Is that right?
Stupid stuff, yeah.
All right, well, that's good to hear. All right, let's...
Makeup's free, Howard?
By the way, this girl's pretty attractive. I didn't expect you guys had attractive fans like this.
I'd hit it.
Oh, look at that.
Right, you'd hit that. What's your name, honey?
My name's Jody.
Jody, you're a big ICP fan, huh?
Yes.
You go to all the shows?
Lately, yes.
You got a nice body, nice face. How old a woman are you?
28.
28 years old.
And who turned you on to
Would you notice her without her makeup on?
Oh, yeah, I sure would. You got a nice kick-ass body, I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
Now, would you bang ICP if they asked?
Oh, my gosh.
Her man's standing right there.
Oh, is that her man? Is that your man?
I don't want to go downstairs and get
Don't
beat
ask
up.
her that, because we got a limo outside, and I'll call her out on it as soon as we're off.
Like, that's a good-looking girl.
I think the guy would bang.
Do you mind if Insane Clown Posse had with your girlfriend?
No, not at all, dude.
Really?
I mean, you know,
See,
we're
that's
brothers.
rock star.
We're family.
Your family.
Family.
You consider yourself part of
Dude, the gathering they gave us was the bomb.
What's that?
Have what's mine.
The gathering is a once-a-year convention of all the juggalos around the world.
How many people show up to something? How many people show up to that?
I think it was like,
It's like
what?
5,000 this year, right?
Yeah, they like restricted it. The city restricted it, but next year we're getting like up to like 8,000.
It was in a campground 3 days.
Well, there you go, Rob.
Now, let me ask you something. Did you guys meet at one of these gatherings?
No.
No, we've been together about 11 years.
Oh, okay.
Are you the only chick at the gathering? I mean, I figured you'd probably get like gang banged by 5,000 guys.
No, there's lots of girls, man.
A lot of hot chicks like you?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised, man.
Naked.
There's like families there, you know, like older people with babies and stuff. It's crazy, man.
They have
babies out
little
there.
babies
In the lake, just chilling out, you know.
They have
when
mud
it's time for the
wrestling.
show.
Honey,
Like
what's your
juggler
story?
wrestling?
You've got a job?
No, I don't work.
That's what I figured.
I'm on JuggleLet'sGoneWicked.com.
What do you mean juggle?
JuggleLet'sGoneWicked.com.
You know
What's
they
that
got
mean?
like Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah.
But it's Jugglelet's Go Wicked.
Do you sell that tape?
.com.
No.
We're putting out a DVD in about another month. We'll have her and several other sexy juggalettes.
What do? You get naked on there?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to
shower.
see? No kidding.
Naked Fago showers. I'll send you a copy if you give me your address, buddy.
You
Do all
know
the
the
girls
address.
have on clown makeup in the...
Yes.
I see.
See, you got to understand something, man. Like what we do, it's kind of like, I don't want to compare it to Christian rock, but like I don't know nothing about that whole world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
You got to be into that world to understand what it's about, you know?
Right.
It's the same thing with our world. It's
But
like
the dark side.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's the exact opposite of Christian rock.
So,
you know
honey,
what I'm saying?
are you doing porno?
No.
No. It's just you get on there and what do? You flash?
It's mostly just still pictures. And there is some video of, like, Faygo showers, girls pouring Faygo on themselves.
Is that
Faygo? Faygo is soda that they made very popular.
Is that what you do for a living, though? You just...
No, I don't get paid for that.
How do you make any money?
I'm a trash man.
Oh, you supporting her?
Yeah.
Nice. Sharing the wealth.
Sugar daddy.
Nice. Sugar daddy. I didn't know that.
She takes care of me, is how it is.
Right, she does.
Hey, can I give a shout-out to the Juggalos and Juggalettes stuck downstairs that couldn't make it up?
All right, brother. Go ahead real quick.
Shout out to them, bro.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, Insane Clown Posse is here for a reason. The new book, ICP Behind the Pain, is available at FYE stores nationwide. And ICP's Wicked Wonka Tour kicks off September 17th in Cleveland.
Yeah.
For more information, go to insaneclownposse.com.
That's with Bone Thugs and Harmony. That's with Cottonmouth Kings. Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
That's
whoa.
with Tech Nine.
Wait a second. We're getting flashed. Yeah, honey, show us those boobs, will you? Give us a break. Wow.
Whoa. Well, let's see those juggalos.
Nice.
Man.
Yeah.
These guys are rock stars.
And Buddy, you guys big fans too, huh?
Absolutely, Howard.
Yeah. How do you? What do you guys do for a living?
Excuse me?
What do you do for a living?
Home Depot.
You work at Home Depot?
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder I can't get
They don't bust my
it.
balls either. They know I'm down.
They do?
Yeah.
They don't bust your ass about the tattoos?
Nah, luckily. They don't give me any grief.
Yeah.
Look, that man, that, see right there, man, that right there, man.
What? What did you just say?
Look at all them tattoos, man. You know what I'm saying? How can you react to that? That just puts me in shock.
Yeah, Rob.
Hey, we knew what you were saying.
I'm a stay-at-home dad.
What do you want to say there, brother?
I'd just like to say, Howard, that I'm a stay-at-home father, and if I could give a quick shout-out to my 3-week-old daughter, Mackenzie Sierra Savage. I love you, baby.
And you're holding up the Insane Clown Posse book.
Sir.
What does his wife do to support him?
Absolutely. Go get it. It's great.
You stay at home and raise the kids. What's your wife doing?
Yeah, she's in college right now, full-time, and works full-time. I love you, too,
You know what, though? All of these juggalos, in a couple of years, they're going to be the ones running the country. They're going to be the ones programming the radio, the
Everyday
TV,
scrubs.
and you're going to see us rolling around legendary.
There's the plan, Insane Clown Posse. Always good to get the update from you guys. I can see you're thriving.
Thank you again, man.
And thank you to the ICP fans. We'll be back right after these words. All right, baby. And thanks for flashing us those jugs. Very nice. Yeah. We'll be back right after that.
People often wonder.
Even the stuff she talked about afterwards, I still thought was great as well. Although JD wanted to go back to her blowjob techniques.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought she was a really good interview. Thanks for calling. Sal, I see you in here. You went in towards the end of the show to defend your new teeth. Congratulations on that.
And congrats on your new show.
Thank you, my friend. But it seemed that this is one of those situations where Howard had to tell you, don't cover your teeth when you're laughing.
I don't want Gary to see them and make fun of
that's where I'm going with this.
First of all, you look like Ross when Ross on Friends got his teeth whitened. And
as long as my teeth don't smell like Ross's teeth, I'll be fine. Sorry, Ross. But Gary started Ross. All right, look like Ross how?
Ross from Friends.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I can't believe
But good work.
Oh, my God.
I was talking about. I said
Sorry, Ross from Friends. Oh, fuck, did I put my foot in my mouth?
You sure did. You are one of a kind.
I just kicked out my new teeth.
But this was one of those situations where it seemed like Howard told you were inappropriate, therefore you're like, you know what, I guess I see that, when you were getting them and the jokes you made and things like that. But do you really feel like you did anything wrong when you were in there?
I think I'm a normal guy. I think I'm getting my teeth done. I have a little gas going. I have a beautiful assistant to the left of me.
If you're so normal, how come you're the only one that seems to get this kind of trouble?
I don't know. You guys bring it to light.
But it should be like everybody should be. You should hear every day, oh, my God, some guy went to the dentist office, used the N-word. You don't only hear about you.
Yeah. Well, I didn't use the N-word N-word, not N-word in a derogatory sense, like when that black guy stole your chocolate, Gary. I used it singing along to a song.
It's going back to the hits.
But I thought, I tried to make the best of it. It was very painful. You know, Gary, how it is. It's, you're under a lot of pressure. It hurts. There was pain involved. Not much pain, but at first he missed a spot or two with the Novocaine, and God, my balls went right up my ass. He went, whoa, because you clench up. And I kind of wanted to break the ice a little bit.
Can we clarify something? I've heard you paid $12,000, $6,000, $18,000, paid nothing. What's the truth?
I paid $6,000 for around $5,800 for the lab work, for the teeth itself and the lab work. The dentist did the work, put on the teeth, and they did the gum shaving for free.
Why?
Well, he offered it to me for free.
But who is he to you?
Nobody. Well, I met him through somebody. And he says, look, if you want nice teeth, I can help you out. And he says, I could give you a deal. I'm a fan of the Howard Stern Show. He's a big fan of the show.
Because here's the allegation that's going around the back office.
Yeah.
There was a Page Six item about it last week. So that basically you got on the air. The rap is you got on the air, gave out the guy's name, got the Page Six thing, and in exchange you did it for free.
I swear on my children, never called Page Six, never did anything like that. There was no barter there. I'm assuming, which makes logical sense to me, that somebody, either the dentist or the dentist's office, leaked that out. That occurrence did happen. They did put me in a separate room, and they waited for her to leave and then for me to go in because they were afraid she was going to be offended by seeing me. I never besmirched her like they said, so when the news came out, I don't even know what besmirch means.
It's all right, keep going.
So when the news came, Scott the engineer comes into my office that morning, and he goes, well, you made the papers. And he hands me the newspaper, and I read it. I'm like, wow, that's really odd. So no, there was no tie-in with that. The dentist did give me a break. They are big fans of the show.
Well, it's not a break. A break is a break in price. He gave it to you for free.
Yeah,
that's not really a break. He gave it to you completely for free, except for what it cost him.
Right, pretty much. So that was very nice of him.
But why would he do that just for you? Like, do you ever feel weird about taking it?
No, I mean, no. He made it perfectly clear that look, this is what I could do for you, I can help you, and he had no problem with it. So I thank him.
No, I'm saying, do you have a problem with it?
No, I'm 6,000 in the hole in some capacity. And sure, let's not lie and let's not kid each other. The dentist knows. Look, I'm on the air. I have nice teeth, and it'll certainly help him. There is a bartering deal there. That's obvious. But he seems to be pleased. He presented it to me. And he did a great job,
Sal,
and I thank him.
One last question. You talked about getting out of a speeding ticket on the way home?
Yeah.
No,
I didn't talk my way out of it. It was just a ticket.
How fast were you going?
You know what? I was on Long Beach Boulevard. I think that's what it's called, in Long Beach, New Jersey. And apparently, it's 4 lanes. But I was going 51, and it was a 35. What's so funny about that?
Because earlier you said you were doing 53 and a 31.
Well, whatever it is.
And we're like, I've never seen a 31-mile-an-hour zone in my life.
It was right. 35 makes more sense. It's an even, whatever, an odd number, but it's cut off evenly.
Jesus Christ.
That's all.
Do you know that there's not a day that goes by that my son, Lucas, tells one of his friends that I work with a guy who can't find California on the map?
I can
Swear
now.
to God.
I can now. You guys have educated me quite a bit. It's on the West Coast by the Pacific Ocean.
Well done.
Hello. I'm Baba Booey. And on Tuesday's wrap-up show, we talked about Lisa G's sweet and greet, which was a big topic of conversation. Howard doesn't seem to be that happy with it. Lisa wouldn't come in and do the show, but there were a lot of people who wanted to come in and talk about it. Here's what happened.
A lot of people, not just Ronnie, but he was in there pretty vocal about it, but a lot of people are upset about this Lisa G meet and greet issue. And the first thing I want to tackle, Gary, we kind of talked about this off the air, is Lisa treated differently because she wasn't sort of raised by the show? She came in from the outside. Or do you think Howard's not going, Howard could be hitting her harder and he's not for another reason?
This is totally my opinion, but the first thing you said, yes, Lisa worked in the business for a very long time before she worked here, so I think Howard sees her as a colleague. Even though they may not be equals in the same business, they are in the same business, and there's a totally different way you're treated when you've worked and come to work here as opposed to being raised here. I think I get more shit than Lisa might get just because Lisa had a career before here, and in Howard's eyes, he built my career.
What about Ronnie's point, which he's been making for a long time, probably a number of years, I would say, that Lisa isn't a team player? And when you hear, she's doing this, she's not part of the show, or I don't even know what she said. And again, Lisa, you're more than welcome to come down and defend yourself.
She doesn't work for the Howard Stern Show. She works for Sirius XM. What kind of comment is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Lisa has always gotten away with. Ronnie says she's not a team player. She's not participated in things under the guise of I work in the news department. I have a certain reputation to keep up. But I think once you've opened the door to utilizing the show to put on a sweet and greet or whatever you're going to sweet and greet, whatever it's called, then you have to sort of say, well, I got to be part of the team, which means letting Howard TV come, which means letting Jason come and cover it. And Howard's right. Like, I said this even at K-Rock a bunch of times on the air, almost to my own detriment. I work for the Howard Stern Show. I love that I worked at K-Rock and I worked for Tom, but at the end of the day, if Howard says let's pick up and go, I'm going with Howard.
But why is Lisa's event getting under Howard's skin? I mean, Benji's got his project. Ronnie's got the block party. I'm not sure what Will has, but all that stuff, why is Howard dwelling on Lisa's? Why is that the one that's really pissing him off?
I'm not sure, but I would have to go back to the idea that it's really not providing any sort of entertainment in any way.
And you know what? I think he's even a little irked at the block party a little bit.
How so?
I don't know. He just, I think, and he doesn't like so much being exposed with the show. He likes, everything sort of, he doesn't sell stuff like Bill O'Reilly and Rush Limbaugh or whatever. So he doesn't want to have a whole lot of. He thinks a little. I mean, I don't know.
It's trading off the show's name,
something like that, and he just doesn't like so much exposed with his stuff.
If you go back to the old days of the show, Stuttering John and I went out and did a version of the block party many years ago, and we got our asses handed to us. Right? Then John doubled on back and did a more interesting version of the block party, which was just basically John hiring 3 unbelievable comedians and taking most of the money. And for some reason, Howard didn't seem to mind that. I always wondered why. And again, with the block party, Howard doesn't seem to mind. But there's one thing the block party provides that Lisa's not provided yet, which is a lot of content. Although she's providing content now, I think that the block party comes back to us every week with stories that are fun and interesting for the show.
Right. It feeds the Howard Stern show. Right. Therefore, Howard's more tolerant of it. If I don't know if I'm using the right word there.
I just wanted to say, too, having been a listener for so many years, I know what not to do going into something like this.
Well, like what?
Well, like, for example, not putting Howard's name all over an event that he's not going to be a part of. I remember John getting chewed out for Howard Stern and Friends, and then it was Stuttering John and Friends, and, from the Howard Stern show. And Howard Stern's name would be 10 times, 10 times bigger than anybody else's name.
Shuley and Friends.
No, Shuley and Friends. No, but I make sure that,
But Lisa isn't doing that in this instance.
I'm not saying she is. I'm just saying those, for what Gary was saying was when they used to catch shit in the older days for doing this, it just... you got to go into it respecting the fact that he's the reason why we're all getting a chance to do this.
Ronnie, why do you think Howard's so bent out of shape about Lisa's event?
Pretty much for the same reason everybody else is thinking, because there's nothing there. She's not doing anything. She's charging a lot of money.
Baking and talking.
She's not even, according to what I heard, you're going to have to pay $103.49. And then you have to pay for your cupcakes and your coffee.
Oh, I heard there was a free cupcake.
Well, maybe that's from Lisa, but from the place itself, you're gonna, if you want to purchase, if you want coffee, if you want a drink or whatever, you're gonna have to pay for it.
Oh, so anything above and beyond the free cupcake is on you.
I'm assuming that Lisa's bringing the cupcakes. She's not making anything very clear what she's actually doing.
Are you insinuating that while Lisa's meeting and greeting, she may be running a cash bar?
I don't know.
I think he's more than insinuating that, Gary.
I don't know. And I said, Lisa, they're looking for you down at the rap show. I can't come today.
I can tell you.
There you go. I mean, why aren't you down here defending what you're doing?
I will just say this, and I'm not going to give Lisa too hard a time. She should be here to defend herself. She doesn't want to be. I'm not going to hammer her too hard. But today, I was very much like a traffic cop. There were a lot of people coming to me during the show when Lisa was in there telling me this, telling me that, telling me this. And all roads seem to lead, at least people's belief that works here, is that this is all based out of some sort of jealousy that Lisa has towards almost everybody on the show, in the sense, like, why does the block party get to go out? Why does Benji get to go out? Why does John Hein have a TV show? Why does Lieberman get to go on CNN? And I'm not saying that it's all based in rational thinking. And like you said, John, you went out and auditioned for the show. She may just be feeling that she's missing something, so this is her attempt at getting something going.
Well,
but then I would tell her.
Can I say something, John? That's what irks me with this whole thing, with this whole thing she's doing, because as soon as Howard started to hammer her about it, she brought us into it and like trying to make us the bad guys also. Like we're doing something wrong because he's hammering her.
Or we're providing the same amount of entertainment or whatever.
Well, she went flat out and said, hey, she's not doing anything less or more than Ronnie and JD are doing.
That's not true.
What do you do?
I host a show.
And that's what she's doing. She's hosting.
Yeah, but she's not hosting. And
there's nothing beyond her hosting.
She's not introducing, like I'm introducing Shuley. I'm introducing JD, or he's introducing me, or whatever. I'm introducing.
So you want credit for introducing JD? That's
a show needs an MC, okay? That's what I started off doing.
There's nothing beyond the MC.
I never said I was.
What do you do, Dopey?
Dude, I was
Fuck
never
off. Get out of here.
I was never
Stop
said I was a
lying.
fucking comedian.
No, but
in this whole thing.
Will's making a point here.
Right.
I mean, Lisa is hosting the
He's not making
event,
a point. He's
being
being
the
an
MC.
asshole.
No, she is.
But what is she giving with it? A cupcake?
Yes.
For $103.
Well, you could talk to
Come
Lisa.
on.
It's okay. So I'll play devil's advocate. It's there's women who listen to the show who may not want to go to the block party because
Okay.
it's a little racy for them.
Right.
They're more in Lisa's sort of thinking. They'd like to hang out with Lisa and talk about what it's like to be a woman on the Howard Stern show, and they'd like to. It's a small gathering, like a cocktail party, not a drunken party like the block party is.
And it's a symposium,
Fine.
if
But
you
don't knock. Why knock us though? Because he's hammering her. Why bring us into it?
I'll tell
What do
you
we
why.
have to do with it?
This is my theory. You guys tell me if I'm off here. I think she brings it in because she feels like you and Scott and JD and other people are kind of on the same level as she is, and if you guys can do it, why can't I do it?
Because
she brought me into it too for the same reason, I think.
But the difference is, John, we are doing a show. What she is doing is not a show. It's showing up at a bakery and hanging out with fans. That's not a show. That's a Q&A. That's a town hall meeting.
But okay, so I'll jump on that one, and I'll say there's plenty of people who go to college campuses, and that's all they do is a Q&A. They'll
That's
go
fine.
in.
That's fine, but don't pull in a comedy show and say this is the same exact thing that I'm doing. It's not. It's just not. There's a show. There's content.
Aaron and Dayton, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, good afternoon again. Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay. I just wanted to comment. I mean, during the fight week, of course, we heard that Stuttering John got his ass reamed by Howard for going out, using the show for personal gain. And at this point in the game, everybody on the show, I mean, with the exception of you, John, I mean, you was, somewhat famous beforehand, but everybody at this point, using the show for personal gain and monetary value. But, and of course, at this, what I'm getting at is, I'm sure she's not making a whole lot of bread, and she's putting at a point where she's, giving a little bit to charity. She's also, paying for a venue. She's probably paying for the wine and all that shit, and she's also like Gary said, part of the show. So
all right, so Aaron's sort of defending Lisa here.
We
and saying
pay.
she's
We
doing
pay.
nothing.
We pay for a venue.
Yeah, I mean, she's got that's a weird thing to say because whatever she's paying for or not paying for, she will walk away with a profit of some sort.
Yeah, she has no
Dude, when we
overhead,
do the
really.
block party shows, we pay for a venue.
Of course.
So I mean,
So here's a question John and I were kicking around today. If Lisa said, I'm going to be at the coffee shop, for $100 you can come and you get a cupcake and everything, and I'm going to play the violin for an hour.
Okay.
Would that change your perception of what she's doing?
That's a concert. That's a concert.
Absolutely. At least she's doing something other than having, 30 people show up and then just sit around and schmooze with them.
Anthony, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, what's going on? I'm a big Shuley fan. I mean, I'm a stand-up comedian. I've moved out here to PA from California, and just the transition there. But, she's promoting the show because she is bringing – she's using the Stern Show as saying, I'm bringing the female listeners and trying to make money off that because the block party is just completely different from what she's trying to do. She doesn't have an act. So she's using the show to get the female listeners out there to make money. I mean, she's got to rent a car.
But why is it? But why is that wrong? I'm just going to play devil's advocate. Why, if you could say that Julie and Ronnie are using the show to get male listeners to come out and see male-based humor, even though there's a lot of women there as well. So if Lisa feels she's going to talk to female listeners, why is that wrong?
But why does she have to make money of it? If she started to support the show and won a gig, she should be able to be like, "Hey, I'm Lisa G. Come, get listeners to be more attracted to her, not because I need to make some money."
Why should the guys from the block party make money? Shouldn't they just be? Should Julie's a comedian? Should
No,
he
because
be out there for the joy of making people laugh?
Also, would it matter to you?
I pay money to go see the block party. I pay money to go see the block party. I was up in Canada and I saw the block party. It was fucking awesome. It was fun.
But Anthony, people don't have to spend money to go to Lisa's event. They just won't go.
Right. The reason I wanted to pick up his call is because he said Lisa's scamming people, and I think that's a poor choice of words because I think Lisa's being very upfront about what she's doing. I don't think there's any scam involved.
Well, you know what? We should get Jason down here because he said that he feels like she's scamming people big time.
But she's being very upfront about. I mean, I don't think anybody who pays can't walk away surprised with what they're getting.
What were you going to say, Benji?
Well, would it matter? As I said before, I don't think there's anything wrong, and I think Lisa could say she's putting on an event in a different kind of way, but she's still putting on an event. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, except I felt she was being very hypocritical towards when she was criticizing me. But would you guys say it's any different if, let's say, this cupcake place hired her for an appearance and they paid her?
I think that's different because you're not taking money from the listeners.
Right.
That's a huge difference right there. In other words, the cupcake place paid her. She goes there. Listeners can come for free and meet Lisa. And I think you sort of get the same result, but you're not taking money from the listeners.
And I don't think the event itself rubbed people the wrong way. I think the price she came up with, I think, might have rubbed a few people the wrong way.
And the word I keep hearing, too, from some people is that there seems to be a sense of entitlement. But I'm not sure for what. Like, Lisa's entitled to make money off the show, or I'm not sure what people think Lisa's entitled to do. But Jason's here. And Jason, we were just talking about how there was a caller on the line who said he felt that Lisa was scamming people. And I said, well, she's definitely not. That's a poor choice of words. She's being very upfront about what she's doing. But you say she's scamming. So,
well, I would use scamming means like, yeah, she's lying to somebody. I think she's exploiting. I think she's ripping off. I think that she... we have a fan base that will pay money to be part of the show, like going to see Shuli and Ronnie's thing. Now you can say, first of all, I don't even like the fact that their show has been lumped in with this Lisa G thing. They are so two totally separate things. I think it's unfair to them to even lump it in. Lisa made a name for herself from this show in the last 10 years, 5 years on this show.
7 years.
7 years.
But Lisa will tell you that she was been in New York radio for 23 years before this.
Yes, but she is not going on other radio shows to promote this. She's promoting Lisa G, as far as I know, from the Howard Stern show, to go and sit and pay money and see her. To me, that is using the goodwill that Howard has built up with the fan base and is exploiting that. And Howard, who is our boss, can put his name on anything and sell it and make money on it. Stephen King could put his name on any piece of crap book and sell it and make money off it. But they have integrity, and they care more about their fans than Lisa does.
So why is this getting under your skin so much, Jace? Because you were, like, fuming back
Because
there.
I know this is going to sound corny, but I love our fans. Like, I really do. I was one of them, and I know how easy it is if you wanted to. Will and I don't know if we have the same draw as Lisa, but Will and I can go out and do this, too. We could say, hey, come spend $100 and hang out with me and Will. We're not doing anything. We're just hanging out. I personally think it's disgusting to do something like that.
Well, you and Will?
I don't want to speak for you, Will.
Actually, I'll be at Belmont on Saturday. If you want to buy me free beers, I'm more than open to that.
All right. I think she hasn't earned the right to do what she's doing. I think that she's doing something that, despite people comparing it to the Block Party and other events, that isn't even in the same league as those things. And quite frankly, I'm surprised by a lot of what Howard's let go over the years compared to where he was 10, 15 years ago.
Chuck, you're on the wrap-up show.
How's it going, John?
Hey, Chuck, it's JD's dad. Chuck, who wants to chime in? Is this about the Facebook thing, or is this about the Lisa G thing?
He wants the exact address to Facebook.
I won't stay on too long. First, I enjoyed your show on the fast food mania thing the other day. That was great.
Thank you. Thanks for. I appreciate someone in the Harmeyer family watching the show. Thank you.
I haven't been able to listen too much of the show, but I wanted to let everybody know that this Friday night I'm going to be at the Fridays in Westchester, and for $50 you can get whatever appetizer you want, and we'll tweet.
Hey, Chuck, if I come to you, can I look at like JD's like grammar school pictures and stuff? Can you bring all that crap?
Sure.
Some of his report cards.
It's going to be the eat and tweet. And
Chuck, I'm taking from your comments that you think what Lisa's doing isn't right.
I think it's hilarious. That anybody would actually pay, but but
guys, the event's going to be
make some money out of it. More power to her.
But so how about the argument that Lisa's really upfront with what she's doing? She's saying exactly what it is. I mean, why do you think somebody's being taken advantage of in the sense that they don't? Somebody says, "Hey, I want to meet Lisa G. I'm willing to pay that kind of money."
You're taking advantages of people's passion to this show that she had. Of course, a part of in it because she works here and contributes to the show. But this isn't this is.
But you're not going to meet. You're not going to meet Howard. That's a given.
But someone could think that there's one person closer to Howard, and
it doesn't
somehow
matter.
They'll work themselves in.
You've been with the show since the very beginning. Again, I just remember, and I'm a crazy fan. I admit it. I was a crazy fan, just like half the people who have been hired here. And I would have paid untold amount of money to meet you or to meet or I would have waited in line, or got excited to meet High Pitch Eric. And yes, at the end of the day, there's really no one to blame but the person partying with their money who chooses to go to this thing. But she is putting the minimal amount of effort into it. Like even what you were describing, the Chuck stat, if he brought pictures of JD, that's already providing more content than Lisa G is providing.
And the report card's an extra.
Steve and I were joking the other day,
Always.
maybe we should sell tickets to us arguing about TV shows. We argue about TV shows all the time. Again, that's still providing more content than what Lisa G appears to be providing at this stupid thing where she is telling our fans, asking our fans to pay money to meet me. She's being very upfront. 10% of the net is going to charity, and that's very generous of her. But I think it's exploitative. I think it's as exploitative as if Howard started putting out junk with his name on it.
Chuck, I gotta let you go because a bunch of people on the horn. Anything else you want to say?
Give me the horn. Give me the horn.
I enjoy the show. Have a good day.
Thanks, Chuck. Go check out the Pirates take on the Reds. Ralph Sorella, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, now.
Hi, Ralphie.
This is all very muddy. I mean, if you allow for one, you have to allow for all. I mean, whether it's money for a cupcake or money to see a train wreck, it's what people want to pay. And I don't see why Lisa is being, who's Jason to decide what her appearing somewhere is worth to somebody.
Well Ralph, the reason why this whole thing started is because Howard says it bothers him and he doesn't know why. So you're pretty close to Howard. Why do you think it bothers him?
Well, listen, I know what Jason's saying in the sense of like, hey, she's not doing much. She's just coming there and showing up. But you know what? That's what an evening with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby just shows up. Maybe people want to go there for Lisa's personality. Maybe she's going to give recipes. I don't know what the fuck she's going to do there, but I don't know how that's any different than the block party.
But you don't know how that's different than the block party.
Hold on.
No, I don't.
We'll explain that in a second. But all that being said, Ralph, Gary's question is a good one. Like, why does this get under Howard's skin versus the block party, versus the TV shows, versus Benji Song,
Bill
versus
Cosby.
all the other stuff? Why do you think this is irking Howard?
Because this isn't, but maybe because the block party is such a train wreck that it provides content on the show. Ronnie goes out there and acts like an idiot, and then you've got tape of it, and Howard TV is filming it, and it provides content for the Howard Stern show. But I think it just sends signals to you can't allow one and not allow the other. Like, who are you guys to sit there and decide? Like, okay,
well, first of all, we don't. Howard does.
Yeah, but Ralph, wouldn't you agree that? And I was going to get into this a little bit, but you brought it up. Wouldn't you say on this show there's different rules for different people?
Absolutely, yeah.
So then when you say you have to allow for one, you have to allow for another, really, Howard's running a monarchy. He has to allow for whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, Artie used to get away with crap that none of us could get away with.
That's right.
And because he was Artie.
Yeah, and that worked out really well.
Well, I'm just saying that's what happens under that. Anybody could do whatever anybody wants rules.
What Artie was allowed to get away with business-wise had nothing to do with what happened here.
No, he got away with a ton of stuff here that we got. If I slept in the office as much as he slept on the air, I don't think I would have been treated with the same kid gloves.
Absolutely, because you're not as funny as Artie.
No, I'm not. Right. The people are treated differently here.
Yeah. And that just doesn't work well. It just sends out a bad message to everybody.
But again, I fundamentally disagree with you. I think Ronnie's block party does skirt the line of what Howard used to be angry about in the day when John and Gary tried to go out to do stuff and Howard didn't want it to become the traveling Howard Stern show. And I do think it comes up against that line. But at the end of the day, they're promoting their comedy show. People are buying tickets to their comedy show. I don't know. To me, it's completely different than having a lovely chat with coffee.
I will agree that it's different. I don't know if it's completely different. I mean, I think what bothers you is Lisa's looking for a way to make money.
Ralph, would you buy a ticket to just see JD and Ronnie, but no comedy?
I wouldn't even do that.
Me, Gary. Last question: is Howard going to put an end to all this stuff?
It's getting to be rubbing up against that area. Hard to say.
On Wednesday's wrap-up show, there was a lot of talk about Sal, shockingly, screwing up a game again. And this is one of those situations where Sal doesn't think he's wrong, is told that he's wrong, and then realizes that he's wrong and tries to explain himself, which he can't do. So we heard Sal tell the story about how it was unfair of Howard to call him a sucker.
Now joining us on the wrap-up show, the great Sal Governale, who said, Howard, you're a sucker at least 20 times today. Actually, Sal, you refused to say it.
That's right.
Those were the drops being played, but...
Why won't you repeat?
Why wouldn't I say it?
Yeah, repeat after Howard.
Because I wouldn't. It wasn't true. If I did something where he felt like a sucker, I would have said it.
Sal, do you feel like the show was used at all in order for you to get those teeth? Or do you think they're two independent things?
Yes, absolutely. I made that perfectly clear on your wrap-up show last time. I said it's inevitable. There's certainly a bartership deal. People are not stupid. The guy was a fan of the show, and I certainly got a break because he was a fan, which is understandable.
But we discussed it wasn't a break.
Right. Then the break comes back and bites you on the ass. Nothing is ever really a break. There's a price to be paid, whether it's monetarily or getting the shit kicked out of you by Howard Stern. There's a price to pay, and I've learned it the hard way.
Sal and I talked a little bit today. Was explaining that some of the money was for the actual physical things needed to do this, and the rest of the money was free.
Yeah.
So Sal didn't really get a break. He really got the dental work for free.
Right.
And I explained to him that, as Sal said, nobody gives you something for free for nothing. They're always looking for something.
Let me take a step back on this. Sal, do you feel you were unfairly blamed for the problems with the Bigfoot game? Because that's how this all started.
At first, I thought I was. But listen, I'm the one who created the game. The glitch was there. Guilty as charged.
But you said you double-checked it. What did you mean by that?
I double-check all my work. In this particular case, and I don't know why. I don't know why I do these things, but I always give my...
That seems to be the mantra this week. I heard Tim saying that earlier in the week.
It's almost like, how people have a guardian angel? I have like a guardian bully. When I'm going...
A black cloud?
Yeah, when I'm going in the right direction, somebody's kicking me in the balls, just throwing my mind off a little bit, because I always give my CDs to Scott to double-check. And like when Howard asked me, did Scott double-check this one? I said, no. And that's when it hit me. I'm like, he didn't double-check this one. I did, but... inevitably, it was a screw-up on my part.
It's always better to give your stuff to Scott, because then when it screws up, you could blame Scott.
Right.
What happened was there was a glitch. You saw it. Then you went back and saw that there was a track there. But what we figured out is that Bigfoot's answer was so short. Right?
Mm-hmm. It didn't register as a track.
It was a track, but it just goes from one track to the next so quickly, which Richard knew, and he said, Sal just sort of forgot you got to add a little time.
And by the way,
yes.
to say something nice about Scott Salem, that's the kind of crap he really catches.
Right.
Like, I gave him all the impression stuff, and he called me in, he's like, wow, the levels on this are really off on one of them, and we listened to it, and I'm like, good call, and he fixed it, and, that's his job.
That was my mistake. So I took back that game and double-checked that one. And I had Scott check it. As a matter of fact, I went to Gary today and I said, Gary, give me all the games back. So I'm going through every single game right now as well.
There was a great moment, though, where the game fucked up, so I just start yelling, Sal, to just see where he is. Sal was on his way in, but Howard did play the answer, but Sal didn't realize there was a fuck-up. So Sal starts yelling at me, you owe me a fucking apology, asshole. Fuck you.
Wait, can I just say, could I have my headphones on? You guys went from 0 to 1,000 the second Howard said that this isn't working.
There's a reason why.
Before, you guys were yelling so loud at each other that you couldn't hear Howard screaming about who do I have to blame, and I didn't know what was you came out with
it was definitely like a sibling moment.
What happened was I just yelled Sal as loud as I could to see where he was.
I was coming around the bend. I was by the Howard TV room. I saw what happened. I'm like, whoa! Came around the bend, and Gary goes, Sal, where the fuck are you? What's going on? I go, Gary, and then I heard, as I was coming, I heard Howard fix, and I heard the track come through. I'm like, all right, it was a Howard issue, with the CD player. I go, Howard just fixed it, Gary. How about an apology? So Gary looks at me and goes, fuck you.
Yeah, that's where I started hearing everything.
So then Gary sits in his office. I go, how about an apology for that? And Gary goes, go fix your teeth, asshole. I go fix your fucking teeth. And all of a sudden, wait a minute, Sal, Howard wants you. It is fucked up. I'm like, oh, God, no.
All I hear over my head.
So this whole argument was going on over attitudes, and in the end, I was called into the studio thinking I was victorious, and boom.
But what you didn't realize when you were in the studio,
you still didn't realize you were wrong.
You didn't realize you were wrong, and Gary is screaming.
Yeah.
He's deflecting. He's deflecting. And I mean, you were charged up, Gary.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, he was trying to make it go somewhere else, but you didn't realize you were wrong. So you were, no, Howard, I don't know what you're wrong.
Yeah.
And then I was sitting there going, oh, my God, Sal's really digging the hole deeper because he doesn't know he's wrong yet.
Yeah.
How did you not know you were wrong, though? Like in what?
Well, I was arguing with Gary. I got called in, and I thought Howard called. I thought somebody sent him a note that Gary and Sal are fighting over the track. So in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to go in, and then Gary's going to get called in, and Gary apologized to Sal. Here I am thinking it's going to be that way.
And by the way, I just want to say, the desperation move if I'm beating you is you bring up the sleeping.
I know, dude. That was 4 years. I mean, how old is that?
Hey, listen, where am I going to go?
I get it. Yeah. I get it. You're drowning and you grab at anything.
Anything.
But what really, I think, really changed it was, one, you were. I think Howard saw your point a little bit, and I think you were starting to cry.
No, I wasn't.
That's why I ran in.
I got
there
worked up, but I certainly wasn't starting to cry.
I wasn't going to run in with the camera until I looked at the monitor and saw how worked up you were, and I'm like, I better get the fuck in
What
there.
was bringing you to tears? The fact that Howard thought you were lying, or
were you emotional in any way?
You were Sal. You were over the top at a certain.
It was the whole sucker thing, and he said you outsmarted me. I would never. That's just
impossible.
Well, no, it's not. It's impossible to outsmart Howard Stern, in my opinion. Yes, in any capacity.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So. And he kept going with that and the whole Howard Sucker thing, and I'm like, this is just crazy, and that's why I just snapped.
And he threatened to break up you and Richard. And I know to you that's blasphemy, but it seemed like it might be going there.
If it goes there, it goes there. And you know what? You'll see the results. Richard and I are a think tank. We work every day. We bounce ideas off of each other. We work great together. It's like breaking up Captain and Tennille.
Is that a bad thing?
Yeah,
Sal,
actually, they got divorced, and she had a much better career.
Sal, if this happens,
it's like breaking up Donnie Marie.
Keep your mouth shut, because the way Howard described it on the air, you will be getting your own office, and Richard will be sharing an office with
I would
Scott.
hate that. I would hate.
You would rather share with Scott?
I would be in a bathroom with Richard. I would be in a dumpster with Richard.
What? But if you and Richard together isn't an option, wouldn't you rather be alone than be paired up with Scott the engineer?
I don't know. My brain can't even go there. That's like saying you're separating a child from me. I'm not kidding.
Are you ready
You're
for
a grown man?
Are you ready for a world, say in 3.5 years, where the show ends and everybody has to go out and do their own thing? Are you and Richard going out as a team, or are you going to go out and do your own thing?
It all depends. If we want it, right now we're planning as a team, but we also can do our own thing as well.
Let me tell you something from experience. If you're a team, one of you end up stabbing each other in the back. It's just what happens when two guys at work team up on something
and live together.
I don't know about that.
Another old friend of the show. You gonna have a stupid comment about that?
No, I have no stupid comment.
All right, just asking.
Only intelligent ones.
Oh, okay. You have an intelligent comment about that?
A rock and roll legend.
Okay. And an old friend of the show.
Okay.
All right. And we're gonna bring him in.
Well, what's his name?
Joe Walsh.
You're rusty, man.
You're old.
I'm old. Says the guy in the tinted glasses. Mr. Joe Walsh, welcome back, sir.
Thank you. How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
Got a new album out?
Got a new album out.
Analog Man.
One of the rare times I didn't stay up all night to come into the show.
So you're feeling
actually
fresh.
Slept. That should impress Howard.
Right here, sir.
Okay. There we go.
So you're feeling fresh. You're raring to go, too.
I'm fresh and I'm ready to go. I hope he is.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I bet he's really nervous right now.
You guys are old friends. You guys have been...
We're old friends from golly. I don't want to figure out how old.
But the new album's called Analog Man?
Analog Man. First album in 20 years.
All right. We'll see you in the studio.
Okay. Good to be here.
He looks good. Like his skin is good. Well, I'm saying for a guy who's been through what he's been through.
Right. It's pretty amazing.
He looks
It's
great.
almost unfair. Because,
He looks
like,
really...
I would have done all that, too.
That's right. He looks really healthy.
Yeah, like he works out, I think.
But I mean, he had a long time of fucking up his body.
Analog Man is his first solo album in 20 years. He says his wife is the one that got him back in the studio. It's Ringo Starr's sister-in-law, by the way, his wife of 3 years.
Yeah,
now.
isn't that weird?
Yeah. He sounds very happy. He's healthy. He's sober. He loves his new wife. Everything's great.
Do you almost think musically, like Joe's in his own sort of genre? Like, I was thinking about this, that just to discuss it a little bit. Like, He's not like a Led Zeppelin guy. He's not like
He's not huge. He's not like a super, but he's been in a super group. But he's been big on his own.
But he's overlooked, kind of.
Oh yeah, like when you talk about the top 10 greatest guitarists of all times, why Joe's name is, it's always like Buddy Guy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of old black guys.
I think a lot of people took him out of the running because he was such a goof.
That's right. No, he did act goofy for a long time.
Sorry, go ahead.
He talks about how he talks to Ringo Starr for advice. He's very unaffected by his fame. Stevie Nicks, clearly sounds like she's still in love with him. She says that they broke up because they both had heavy cocaine addictions. But basically says he was the love of her life, and he's the only man she'll ever really love.
Something like that. It was pretty quiet. I mean, I heard it. But
I knew about the Don Henley thing, but I never knew about her and Joe.
Joe, come on in. Joe Walsh from the legendary Eagles, of course. Look at you.
Gary's salivating over here.
You look good, my man. Take a seat. Hi, how are you?
He looks real good.
Good to see you. Yeah, he does look good. You know, you look good. Are you amazed? Like, you're so healthy now. You look terrific. You look like a different man from the guy I knew back when.
I am.
You are a completely different man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's strange even being in the room with you now because it's a whole different energy. I never
That's because I didn't stay up all night.
Well, I never knew the Joe I was going to get.
Yeah.
Do you ever go back and look at your old appearances, whether it's on this show or wherever you were, where you were really completely fucked up and you were drinking? I don't even know back then. Were you just drinking or were you coking and heroin and
whatever you had?
Really? It was
what I did.
Right.
Till you were out, and then I left.
Did you ever figure out, to be serious, did you ever figure out what it was that kind of made you crazy enough to want to destroy your body and destroy your mind? There had to be something really behind that, right?
Well, being an alcoholic.
No, but I'm saying there's a reason one becomes an alcoholic, don't you think? Or do you think it's just a disease that randomly hits somebody? I always think there's some psychological basis that your father was either, maybe it goes back to your parents.
It is probably hereditary, yeah. But I tell you what happened for me.
Right.
I wrote some songs that were pretty good.
Right.
When I was high. James Gang Rides Again came out, did really good.
Right.
Made that when I was high. So I made a mistake of thinking it was a winning formula.
Right.
I played some concerts in front of people when I was high, and they
loved you.
Well, they were high too. But,
right.
Yeah. But then later, when I didn't do an album, when I did an album that didn't do so good, I thought, well, I'm not nearly high enough.
Right.
Oh.
And I chased it. Robin.
Hey.
Hi.
But was it the kind of thing where you strike me as a happy-go-lucky kind of guy, but the truth is you're not, because all of that stuff what you're describing is a guy who really wants to be successful. That success was so important to you that you said, oh, I know the winning formula. I'll drink, I'll get high, and then I'll write great music. So it really did matter to you whether you were successful or not. You weren't sort of a happy-go-lucky guy. Maybe it was a reaction to, oh, my God, maybe this will be the secret to my success. You were really hungry for success.
Very subtly.
Yeah.
All of that stuff convinces you that you can't do anything without it.
Right.
And it's got you.
You think that's it?
Yeah.
It's that simple?
Yeah.
You don't think it was your relationship with your parents? I mean, I don't know what it was like for you living at home.
I don't know. Every case is different. If you grew up in an alcoholic family, chances are you're going to be alcoholic.
Your mom and dad were alcoholics?
There's always that at different times, yeah.
Right. So when you see drinking as part of the family life, it doesn't seem like such a bad thing to be doing.
When I grew up, it was the 50s, and we would have these family picnics, and everybody drank.
Including you.
My aunts drank, my uncles drank, my cousins drank. If you were an adult, adults drank.
Right.
That was just the norm when I was a kid. And it occurred to me that my whole family probably has been rip-roaring drunk for the last 500 years.
Right.
That was just the norm.
How hard was it for you to get sober?
Hardest thing I ever did.
Yeah, and now you're happy, right? I hear reports on you, because I care about you, and when I hear you're so happy now, I really do get happy for you because, you know, think about all your contemporaries. A lot of guys died who were even less fucked up than
A lot of guys we know aren't around anymore.
Yeah. Who you thinking about that didn't make it? I'm thinking
Bellucci.
Kinnison. Right. And
Keith Moon.
And it's kind of sad, too, because if you get that second chance, if you live long enough and you kind of get sober, you go, oh, wow, you think about those guys. They were cut down in their prime.
Yeah.
And do you think music... See, I happen to think you're one of the greatest guitar players, and I'm not saying it because you're here, but I do. I think the riffs and the songs you came up with were brilliant, especially James Gang stuff, and then when you went to the Eagles, I felt you really improved that band like tenfold. But yet, do you think... when it comes to, I don't know, the rock and roll intelligentsia, or whoever they are, but do you think, or critics, do you think, yeah, do you think you get criticized or you're not thought of right up there in the upper echelon because your past behavior, because you were so drunk and so outrageous? Do you think that your legend got kind of knocked down to a degree? Were you taken less seriously?
I'm not really concerned with that.
But you are. Because you're the guy who sat there and drank because you destroyed your own body because you thought that was the formula for success. So you do care about your place in history, right? Musically.
Yeah, but I'm not done yet.
No, I know you're not. But I'm saying, I don't, when I see the list in Rolling Stone of the top 10 guitarists in the world.
Joe's not on it?
Yeah, and I don't quite know why. You really are. Do you still practice your guitar every day?
Yeah.
It's that important to you?
I try and play every day, yeah.
Is it true you take guitar lessons to this day? That you still take guitar lessons?
I'll sit down with somebody, yeah. I'll sit down with somebody and ask them how in the world do you play that, like Brad Paisley.
Right.
I'll sit down with him and say, hey, man.
Why is that? Because you can't figure out how he did that?
Well, probably, but it saved me 5 or 6 hours if I just ask him.
But does anyone ever come to you and say, hey, Joe, teach me how to play? Teach me how to do that?
Not really, but
does that bother you? Bothers me. You're the guy who should be giving guitar lessons, not getting guitar lessons.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Who does he think is the greatest?
Who are your heroes musically? I've never asked you that. You were always too drunk. Couldn't get a straight answer out of you. Do you have musical heroes?
No, I had heroes then. They were just different ones.
Jim Beam.
Yeah.
Seriously, who are your heroes?
Well, the guy that's the grandfather of us all is Les Paul.
Right. The guy who really invented the guitar, the electric guitar, right?
The pickup and echo and multi-track recording.
Did you get to know him?
I knew Les, yeah.
Yeah. Were you happy with the inventions and what he did to the guitar? Because you're a guy who in your new album you talk about analog, man. You can't stand all the new technology. It's kind of like I'm just a regular guy. I don't know from all this technology.
Well, I'm not against it. I'm not an old analog fart who came out of the woods.
Right.
I don't think analog's better. It's just, you got to admit.
But you're upset with technology. You don't like now in the Eagles that your fellow Eagle members sit in a studio and they use all these Pro Tools and everything else. It actually slows down the music-making process.
It changes it.
It makes it more complicated.
Easier. Here's two things it does, okay?
Okay.
One is you can fix anything.
Which is
bad.
Bad, I think.
Temptation to fix everything.
You lose the soul of the music, don't you?
If we'd had Pro Tools when we were doing Hotel California, we'd still be working on Hotel California.
Because what you're saying is Hotel California has imperfections, so to speak. And those imperfections are kind of the cool things about it.
The charm.
Human.
And so when you get in the studio now with the Eagles, they sit and go, wait a second, that note's just a little bit out of tune or it's a little bit off. Let's fix it.
We've always been like that to some degree.
Right.
But the great temptation with Pro Tools is to go ahead and fix everything when you don't need to.
Do you have enough of a voice in that band? I know you've got to sort of watch your P's and Q's with some of the band members, but do you have enough of a voice in that band to say, guys, stop. We're in a studio. What made us great, why Hotel California works, is because there are mistakes on it. It's not a perfect piece of music. Nothing is.
Well,
but it's real.
I wouldn't single out the Eagles.
You say they all do it.
Everybody does it.
But you are in the Eagles.
It's a hazard of Pro Tools. It's a hazard of digital technology. There's one other thing I want to say.
Yeah.
The temptation with digital technology is to start with a drum machine.
Right.
That's virtual.
Yes.
And put that down. And then build up the track with virtual instruments, which are all in the computer, and build up the thing like a kit.
And it never sounds quite as good.
No. In the old days, you got some guys in a room, you mic'd them, and you pushed record, and you got the performance.
Right, and isn't there something that comes out of that performance when a guy's sitting there, a drummer live, and all of a sudden he goes, wait a second, I have an idea. What if I hit it this way? Or you go, wait, I got a better riff. Or that's the magic of being in a studio with a bunch of guys.
That's rock and roll from 1954 to 1962.
But when you recorded the last Eagles album, and by the way, the album did well. I mean, there was an experiment, too. You sold it through Walmart, and it sold really, really well. And this is a tough day and age to sell music.
Yeah.
So the experience for you was not the same. Were you all in the studio at the same time, or was it all done with building it up one at a time?
There's a temptation.
Right.
To do it that way.
Do you put up a protest in the band, or you just go along with the flow?
I go along with the flow. We do it various ways depending on what we're trying to accomplish.
Is it liberating now that you have a solo record out because you don't have to deal with the, I'm not going to call it nonsense, but the politics of the Eagles? Is it a liberating experience for you to go in and do it your way?
It's, what do I say? Yeah, but I mean, for all of us, I mean, Don's down in Nashville,
doing his own thing,
recording. Glenn made an album,
but for you get to do it your way now.
I get to do it my way. Yeah.
Is there a part of you that goes, "I'll show these fucking guys how an album should be made"?
Nah,
never.
Nah.
There's no anger there, no bitterness.
Nah.
Have you given up all your friends from the old days? In other words, you used to come in with a boatload of characters that were hanging around. I'm talking about the days when you got
my entourage.
You had an entourage of guys who could drink you under the table. You know, there was the bass player, Rick the bass player. Are you done with those guys? Are they bad influences, so to speak, on you, or triggers for you?
Well, Rick's exempt.
Right.
He plays with Neil Young now.
Yes.
He's cleaned up. He's doing great.
That's good.
For him.
Yeah. You have to change all your friends.
I know.
You have to.
Yeah, or else you get sucked into the vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were another one. We felt like we were the friends that got, and we never did all that stuff with you.
Yeah,
but
we were good
for a while, you didn't come see us.
Yeah, were we part of the problem?
Someone stole my identity, Robbie.
Yeah. You know, when I was thinking about you, there was a great... I know you're happily married now. You've been married, what, 3 years?
3 years.
Oddly enough, to Ringo Starr's sister-in-law?
No.
Wait,
your wife,
your wife is...
Are you sure? Do you know who you're married to?
What is it, Ringo?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, who are you married to?
My wife is the little sister of Ringo's wife.
Barbara Bach?
Right.
Yes.
And you are now happily married.
It's the part of me that was missing.
Because I remember you in the old days. You know, listen, you were high, and women were commodities. You used a lot of women, and they used you. I mean, it was a mutual use. They used you for your fame and your money and your power.
Well, sometimes I think Joe forgot when he was on the road that he had another woman somewhere.
Right. But did you have a whole epiphany about women? Like that changed your attitude toward women too?
Well, the first thing that you can't do when you try to get sober is have a relationship.
Right. They say that's the worst thing.
Yeah. So I did that for a while.
You did?
You did all the wrong stuff.
You sabotaged your recovery by being in a relationship with a woman during it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that didn't work good.
So they're right about that.
Yeah.
These people know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
It didn't work good because she becomes your drug, right?
Or a reason to drink.
In other words, you'd start fighting with a woman, the relationship gets too heated up, you haven't worked on yourself enough, and then boom, everything goes kablooey and you need a drink.
Women are a great reason to drink. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Probably just any relationship with anybody is a reason to drink.
Like Joe's so charming, and nothing could be a problem about
Well,
that.
you know what? I think like Joe, I have problems with everybody, so I think anyone would make me drink.
There you go.
Man or woman.
There you go. Congratulations on your marriage, by the way.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
I'm glad we're both happy.
Yeah, no, very, very happy.
Yeah.
I really am. I
Yeah.
mean, I understand what you say.
To get a real partner.
Yes.
You know?
And to feel good about that situation is remarkable.
And it's the part of me that was missing.
But don't you think it's the change in you that allows you to have that with a woman?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to grow up.
I couldn't have had any relationship like I was.
Did you go back and say to any of the women you were with, and I'm sure you hurt some women and some women hurt you, but did you go back? Even remember, you used to have the great joke, my ex-wife plaintiff.
Yeah, did you call plaintiff?
Did you ever call plaintiff and say,
which one?
Any of them.
I made amends to a lot of people.
You did?
Yeah.
Was that hard?
No.
Once you do it, does it unlock something in you? Like, does it open up your heart?
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah.
And so you would call, did you call your ex-wives?
Mm-hmm.
And you said to them, look, I'm sorry I put you through hell. I'm sorry I did
sorry I put you through hell.
Were they all receptive to that, or did some of them say, you know what, Joe, fuck yourself?
There was both. Both of those. Some people say, I understand. I'm glad you're sober. Some people say, up yours.
And some people say, I don't believe you. In other words,
the important thing is me.
You said it.
I'm better for it.
Right. And what is it? If it's a phone call or a meeting, and you go there and you confess to them that you were shit or whatever, you were confused.
Yeah, you look them in the eye and you tell them, hey, I was really a bad person to you, and I regret it, and I'm sorry.
Wow. Boy,
that's heavy.
That's hard.
It's heavy, but I mean, that's part of recovery. Because you live in all that garbage. You constantly, even now, everybody goes into the past and digs around in a pile of stuff.
Right.
And you look for something to be mad about.
Right.
You look for something to get in a bad mood about, and you attach an emotion to it. And then you're in a bad mood, and none of that exists.
All that anger is in you.
Yeah. If you clear that out by making amends, you stand a chance.
Right. Well, it's a tough... I tell you what, that is not an easy assignment.
Has he decided to have more children?
No, you're not having more kids, are you?
No, I have lots.
Yeah.
How many kids?
I saw one of your daughters on a TV show. Lucy. She's a very talented girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
She wants to make it in the music business.
She's also acting. She's pretty serious about acting.
Good-looking girl, too.
Yeah, she's nice.
Yeah. And then I saw they got you on the show, too. They schlepped you out. I was like, oh, poor Joe.
Well, I showed up for her.
Yeah, right, I know. I knew you didn't want to be there, man. I was just watching it, and I go, oh, my God.
Me and Dee Snider.
Yeah, you guys are all on there.
We showed up for our kids.
But
I know what that show was.
Yeah. I enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
But it was the kids of rock stars who show up, and they had a competition.
Yeah.
So, but you see these competition shows. That's not the way to really make it. I'm a judge on one of these shows.
I know you. How's that going?
I love it. But I tell everyone. In fact, I don't
know. You are.
Well, you don't want to know something? In Vegas, I tell these guys, I don't know if they're going to show it. They don't show everything I say. But I said to them, you got to remember, a lot of hard work goes into it. When I saw them fucking off or doing something weird, I'd say, I know musicians. And these guys work their ass off. They might look happy-go-lucky, but how many hours did you spend in your life not only sitting alone in a room with the guitar, but also going out on the road and playing in front of people and learning that, even if you're playing in front of two people, life can really suck and it's not that easy. I mean, there's a lot of hard years. There's no quick fix, right?
It's your 10,000 hours.
Your 10,000 hours. And you put them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have too.
Yeah, I mean, we all do.
You used to sell mattresses.
I did. I still do. I was shocked to learn, though, in your life, one of the great romances was Stevie Nicks of Fleetwood Mac. And this was kept on the down low, even during your whacked out years.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
But she says you were the love of her life and probably still are. What, is she one of those people you had to call and make amends to?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
She's special.
She was in love. One of the greatest songwriters ever, right? Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
No?
Well,
am I wrong?
I mean, songwriters, in the big picture, all of us from the 70s are memorable and notable, but I mean, the greatest songwriters are like guys from the 30s and 40s. And
do you really believe that? You don't believe Jimi Hendrix was a great songwriter? Paul Simon?
Yeah. Okay.
You don't consider yourself a great songwriter?
Well, I don't think it's fair to say one of the best ever to anybody.
But what a powerful couple, Stevie Nicks and Joe Walsh.
Stevie's very high on the list.
Were you in love
Did
with
they
her?
write together?
I don't know. Did you guys ever write together?
She helped me do the Confessor album.
No kidding.
She rode shotgun with me on that one and gave me some direction. And she's really good at the craft of songwriting.
Which means what? Sitting down and really putting a pen to paper and actually trying to figure out the lick and all that?
Left to my own devices, I will have 85 pieces of paper with a couple words on each.
Right.
And people like her and my wife Marjorie now help me get 85 words on one piece of paper.
How do they help you do that? I mean, you're a songwriter. It's a creative process for you. How do they focus you to take all those 85 slips of paper and combine them into a song?
Well, my wife is a closer. That's what she does. When I say it's the part of me that was missing, I got a little attention deficit.
Right.
But in the 50s, that wasn't diagnosed. You were just difficult.
Right.
But I got it.
Yeah.
You know, I see that in one of my sons. I learned about it, and I had it screaming in the 50s.
It's one of those things that affects you where you can't keep your mind on one thing.
You can't complete tasks. I have a great idea, fantastic idea, and I get it started. And wait a minute, I have another idea. So there it sits.
You know, I'm reading a book about this. It's called Get Things Done.
Yeah.
Do you ever read this book?
No.
I've just started reading it. I just learned about it.
Yeah, so I have great ideas lying all over the place.
And what do you do? Do you speak into a little tape recorder? And how does the songwriting process go for Joe Walsh personally? Would you be fucking around with your guitar? You start to, pick at a few notes and go, that's cool? Or do you hear the song in your head first? You once told me years ago you always have a song in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how do you get it out physically? Because don't you go, oh, my God, this is good. I don't want to lose this. What do you do? What's the first thing you do? So you don't forget it.
Well, you can carry around a little recorder.
Do you do that?
And put ideas down. When I remember to, yeah.
Because you need a giant inbox, so to speak. And then, but by that I mean you need a place that whenever you get an idea, you just put it in there so you don't have to sit and worry. Didn't that worry you when you had a great hook or something and you'd say, oh, shit, I can't forget it, I can't, or you didn't care?
It depends. When I was wasted, I would write it down, except in the morning, it didn't make any sense.
Okay, a song like Life's Been Good So Far. Life's Been Good So Far. You're standing around one day. Do you hear the words first or the music?
Usually the music.
The music?
Yeah.
You heard...
It's real abstract, and I think it's the same for for all of us. You hear an idea, and it's kind of a symmetry
So
that
did you
hear.
So when you say you heard an idea symmetry, was it like
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah.
That's what you heard.
Yeah.
And then you go, I don't know what the fuck to do with that.
Well, you go, okay, there's something.
Right. Now, what do you do with that? You go over to a tape recorder and you go.
I kind of have a place in my head
that it goes
with different drawers.
Really? And you retain this?
Yeah.
I wonder
I'm wondering, why don't you think this is something you've heard before? You know, like you're humming somebody else's tune.
I'm amazed that I would sit there and think how many songs he forgot that are in that drawer.
Well, think of how many songs never got written that people had. Yeah. Robin, you're right. Whatever you just said, I forgot.
Yeah, sometimes you think it's something you heard.
Yeah, right. Well, that's where you go, aha.
Right.
You mess around with old blues licks, and you mess around, and you realize, boy, this is fantastic. Oops. Except it's a Hendrix lick. And you think, oh, well, start again. But once in a while, you get a nibble.
Did you ever meet Hendrix?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Did you ever get to play with him?
Not live.
Not live.
Backstage.
You went backstage. Where was this?
Youngstown, Ohio.
Back in the early 70s?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're, what, doing a concert?
Yeah.
James Gang concert at that point?
James Gang, Hendrix, and Sly and the Family Stone.
All on the same bill.
Well, remember in those days?
Wow, yeah.
You had 3 headliners on a show.
And who opened that show?
We did.
The James Gang.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. What a show.
Yeah.
And then Sly and the Family Stone, and then I guess Hendrix.
Well, Sly never came out of his dressing room.
Yeah, right. But there's another guy. I mean, he's a difficult guy, right? He's had his problems.
Yeah.
And I don't think he ever came out of them like you
Still
did.
going through it, yeah.
I don't think he made it.
No. Do you ever see him around?
No.
No. He's like a recluse.
There's been Sly sightings, but yeah.
Yeah, I saw him on some award show or something.
Yeah, but a few months ago, we were reading that he was in a trailer parked outside somebody's house.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank God you didn't go that route.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And does that give you the shakes at night sometimes? You go, shit, I could have really, really fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I am so grateful to be alive and sober.
So Hendrix is backstage. And what happened?
He's backstage. We're in a like dressing room.
Oh.
Which is like where a hockey team changes or something, you know.
Not glamorous.
That, so yeah, right. And he's there, and I finished, and we finished, and we're in the same dressing room. So he's sitting playing his guitar, and I come in with mine.
Right.
And
you have a jam session, so to speak.
A little bit, yeah. I showed him my guitar, and he showed me his.
Do you get intimidated by a guy like that?
Nah, he was a wonderful guy. Of course, I'm intimidated.
By his talent, I mean.
By him. He had an aura. I mean, he had feathers on. I mean, it was terrifying.
Well, you talk about that. I read that Clapton and a bunch of other guys at the time who were considered top guitarists all went to see Jimi Hendrix when he first came on the scene. They went to a club and they all looked at each other and they went, shit, we don't even really play the guitar.
What the hell are we doing?
What are we doing? That was the famous story.
Generally thought by the community, yeah. What the hell are we doing?
Did you feel that way?
Yeah.
You did when you played with him. When you played with him, did he say, oh, wow, Joe, maybe we should get together in the studio and do something together? Or it never got that far?
No, never got that far, but he showed me his guitar, and I paid attention to how the heavy strings, light strings.
Right.
How high are the strings? What's the action? Because he was a tough one, because he was left-handed.
Right.
So everything was backwards. That's why he sounded like that. None of us right-handed guitar players could do what he was doing.
Was he playing a lefty guitar?
No.
He was playing a right-handed guitar
upside
with his
down.
Upside down. Oh, wow.
That's why he sounded like that.
And
that's why we couldn't crack the code.
Oh, my God. That's fascinating. Yeah.
That's why we were all hitting ourselves in the head.
But that's why you're a great guitar player, because you're a student. You sit there. Those are the guitar lessons you talk about.
Yeah.
Sitting with Jimi Hendrix, it's a master class.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even if it's 3 or 4 minutes. Right. And I had a Les Paul, and he looked at that, and he was really, really nice and just a good guy.
Isn't it weird too? Because Hendrix is, of course, remembered for his music, but also for the excesses, like the drug taking, fucking chicks, getting plaster cast on his dick. It takes away from his legend in a way. It really does.
That's the way it was back then. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
You could get away with a lot of stuff back then that you can't now.
Right.
You probably noticed.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's a whole different universe, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Joe, where do you think rock and roll is going? Speaking of back then and today, like there's not rock radio stations.
Boy, Robin, that's a good one,
Is rock dead?
Yeah, I think so, pretty much.
It's pretty dead because there's not a lot of rock and roll radio stations. And we were talking about this on the show the other day. We were talking about that it's almost like, I think Robin said it, that rock and roll is going to be like jazz in a way. It's going to be just this art form that existed and was big, and then some guys will still play it, but it's not going to have.
It's dead, but it's not dead, but it's not number one. Country's number one.
But I never thought I'd see the day that, rock and roll was such a part of my life.
Howard, think of it. That's what Analog Man is all about.
Right. The new album.
The digital technology is nice, but along with it is this virtual world that we all go in more and more.
Yeah.
And it doesn't exist. It's in a computer. It's an illusion. And we sit in chairs. Our bodies sit in chairs for hours waiting for our minds to come back.
Yeah.
I like side B.
Right.
I like cart machines. It's different, man. It's different for us.
Yeah.
And the problem with the digital technology,
right?
It ate the record business.
It did, yeah.
It ate radio.
So you're not on Twitter, are you?
It ate intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that drive you crazy as an artist that, a guy who's like you, like a musician who comes up now, they can't even sell a record because everything's out there for free. People don't go and buy DVDs and CDs.
I know.
So they rip them off and that. It does seem unfair, right?
People ask me, what advice do you have for the upcoming musician? I don't have any. I'm trying to figure it out, too.
What is your game plan with the new CD? In other words, it's hitting the stores, I think, today, right? Tomorrow, all right? And you have a new single out. But what's the game plan? Can you really... Well, I guess you could go around the country and play these songs. It's almost like starting over. Joe Walsh is one of the biggest names in rock, and yet it's almost like you're starting over again. You got to go out, play for audiences, and introduce them to this music.
It's a fresh start for me.
So what are you going to do? What's the game plan?
Well, the deal with everything is, in lieu of record companies, the way to do it now is the social network. You have to get visible.
Yes.
If you can make people aware that you have a record out, they'll find it.
Right. So your game plan is to use social media and sort of get because like look at some of the great artists. Paul McCartney just came out with an album. Nobody gave a shit. You know what I mean? Paul McCartney. It's like everyone has an even playing field now. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to bank on your name. It's just that I feel great for guys like you who have an audience already, and you can go out and do a James Gang tour, or you could go do a Joe Walsh tour, or you could do an Eagles tour. So you're fine. Nothing's going to bother you. But when you put out new music like you just have, that's the conundrum. That's the thing that you can't figure out.
You can't assume that you're going to have a hit record.
No.
What's platinum now? 50,000 copies?
That's right. Go make a living doing that.
Woo!
Right. How many records how many records between the Eagles and the James Gang have you sold? And Joe Walsh solo stuff?
I don't know.
You never counted it up?
I lost count after about 85,000. I was counting them on my fingers.
You mean you really don't know, Joe? Isn't that an impressive number to know for yourself and look back and say, you know what, I can reflect on that number?
Probably, but in that category, I'm not really that big of a fish. Look at somebody like Jeff Lynne.
Now, Jeff Lynne produced your new record.
Yeah.
Jeff Lynne was, of course, of Electric Light Orchestra, ELO, and he's a great
that
legendary.
guy sold some records.
Did he?
Yeah.
More than you?
ELO, I think so.
But if you count the Eagles, in
well,
your
Eagles,
record,
yeah, okay, Eagles.
Eagles are one of the biggest selling bands of all time.
Yeah,
Hotel California,
Hotel
I think,
California
isn't that the
alone.
one album that I think that's the #1 album for the Eagles ever?
Greatest hits.
Greatest
The
hits.
greatest
is.
hit.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
wow.
go back and forth with Michael Jackson.
What's the best song you ever wrote? Seriously, out of all the songs. I have, I don't know if it was Funk 49, Walk Away. I don't know. I could name Rosemary.
Rosewood Bitters.
Rosewood Bitters. It's more. I think all these great songs. What is the greatest song you ever wrote that you're most proud
The
of?
one you love the most.
Yeah.
Eagles wise, I co-wrote "Life in the Fast Lane" with
Great
Don
song.
and Glenn.
Right.
Yeah.
Solo wise, probably Rocky Mountain Way.
Yeah, what a song. Do you still stop and listen to that on the radio? I mean, it's on the radio all the time on classic rock stations. If you hear it, will you stop and listen to it and go, man, that's a good fucking record? Or will
Who
you
wrote
just
that?
Yeah, will you just tune by and say I don't want to hear it again?
One of the things that makes it magic is it's a bunch of guys playing in a room.
Right. Rocky Mountain Way.
You're listening to how it was made.
That groove you can't do with Pro Tools.
No. And you remember when you came up with that, or were you so drunk? Like, was that part of your drunken formula where, like, hey, I get really high and I write? Do you remember any of that process of writing that great song?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What was the process on that one?
I was in Colorado.
Right.
I had left the James Gang. I was worried that I might have made a mistake.
It's scary.
Yeah.
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 Because that was a successful entity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we were doing fine.
Why did you leave?
3-piece band. I just got saturated with playing really loud and being like a kick-ass guitar guy.
Right.
Playing through Marshalls and stuff.
Why, you thought on your own you could, tone it down?
I was hearing all these songs like with a piano.
And they didn't want that. The other two guys were against it.
Kinda.
And also your audience demanded you be a certain sound. So if you went to a piano, you were afraid the audience would reject. So you just said, fuck it, I'll leave the whole thing.
Yeah.
Did those guys want to kill you for breaking up something successful?
No.
Did you call to apologize to them when you got sober?
I didn't have to really apologize. I apologized when I quit. I just said, guys, I can't do this. I'm a musician, too.
Yeah.
And I got to go have a look at that.
And so so you were scared, you were in Colorado.
I'm in Colorado, okay. And I have an album done, which was the Barnstorm album. The first solo album I did, and I'm mowing the lawn. And
you were mowing the lawn.
I was mowing the lawn. Yeah,
rock stars mow lawns.
I didn't have any words for Rocky Mountain Way, but we had the track done.
Right.
And I'm just dead in the water about this song. What is it about?
You mean you just hear music? There's no vocal. There's no tune really, except that.
If there were words, I hear where they go.
But you don't have the actual words.
I don't know what they are.
So how do they come to you?
Well, I'm on the lawn. I look up, and there's the front range of the Rocky Mountains with snow on them in the summer.
Right.
And it knocked me back because it was just beautiful. And I thought, well, I have committed. I'm in Colorado. It's too late to regret the James Gang. The Rocky Mountain Way is better than the way I had because the music was better. And I got the word bam. And he's telling us this, tells us that, changes it every day. That's about the James Gang's manager.
Right.
We don't need the ladies crying because the story's sad. That's giving up the regret of leaving the James Gang. And I got all those words all at once, and I ran into the house to write the words down. And the lawnmower kept going over into the neighbor's yard, and Ate the Garden. It was an expensive song to write, but...
Oh, I got the chills when you tell me that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I get the chills because that's such a fucking cool process. I wish I had that ability.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Do you have trouble with your neighbors? You had a neighbor, you had a problem where some neighbor was like stalking you or something, or you had to go to court with the guy, or there was something, he came over with an...
Oh, yeah, that guy.
What happened there?
He finds pieces of property and builds houses on them.
Right.
And they shouldn't really have houses on them.
Right.
But he has friends at City Hall.
Oh.
And,
it's a complicated life.
I was wishing he wasn't doing that.
Right.
So I didn't help him.
I see. He got frustrated with you.
And he got frustrated, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
It's complicated being Joe Walsh sometimes. But now it seems like it's a lot simpler. You got the wife, you're happy.
Oh, it's so much simpler.
Now, let me say that Joe Walsh's new solo album, Analog Man, is in stores tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Hey, I didn't finish that thought, though, with Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
I mean, you two became this couple, and she says you are the love of her life.
All those songs were about Joe?
Yeah. She wrote one about me, yeah.
What was the big one about you?
Joe?
Joe just fell asleep.
Yeah.
He's thinking of the name.
I'm trying to I'm embarrassed. I don't remember.
Was it a Fleetwood Mac song, or was it from one of her solos?
One of her solos.
One of her solo albums?
Yeah. Yeah.
Stand
Has anyone ever wrote a song for you?
Hell no. I wish you
No,
would.
that's how the song goes, stupid.
Oh, shit. When are you going to write a song about me? Actually, I got a...
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I got an email from Leslie West. He claims he has an idea. He was thinking of me. He wants to write a song about me. I'm very honored.
That's flattering.
I feel like a hot chick.
Well, you better wait till you hear it first.
Yeah.
Give my best to Leslie.
I will. You know, he lost his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but he's doing well.
Yeah.
He has a great spirit about him.
He's a great guy.
And a great guitar player.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Now, there's a guy that could probably be on Rolling Stone's list.
Yes.
Where the hell's he?
Exactly.
He's not on the list either?
That's right. Well, anyway, the legendary Joe Walsh, who is doing so well, happily married now.
Happily
Very
married.
happy for Joe.
And Ringo is your brother-in-law.
My brother-in-law.
Do you
guys
hang?
get together?
Yeah, we hang.
You do.
Do you sign autographs?
Joe, do you sign on? Because Ringo has stopped signing everything. That was,
I signed his name for him.
You do.
That's why he got me.
Ringo comes over the house, and it's like a family get-together.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun. I mean, that's an interesting thing.
Yeah,
He says, sign all these albums for me. I'm done.
You get along with each other?
Very well.
You do.
You know, he's so down to earth, Paul too, for what those guys have been through.
Right.
And the really good positive energy. And in terms of a family, I got this huge family that came along with my wife, and it's a dynamic I'd never been around because they're really close. And learning to be part of is one of the things that has opened me up.
Right.
And made me feel, given me confidence, which is something I never had. That's why I drank.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're not drinking. I'm glad you're healthy.
So having Ringo, his insight and his wisdom has helped me with my life and as a human being, besides the music part of it.
Yeah, he seems like a real good. I mean, I got to know Paul McCartney a little bit. What an amazing guy.
Yeah.
I mean, something else.
Yeah.
I always say, you talk about guys who strip it down, so to speak, who are analog men. I was talking the other day, I heard a song of his that I hadn't heard in years. It was from his first solo album after he left the Beatles. It was Turn It Up. What's the name of that song?
Ooh You.
Ooh You. And I love this song, Ooh You, but it's so fucking stripped down. And in fact, he's in a studio doing it, and he says, "Turn it up." He's talking to the engineer, and it became part of the song.
Yeah,
that's the shit I like.
That's analog.
That's analog. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You and Ringo, you and Ringo ever swap sisters? Would that ever happen? Like you do him?
Howard, I'm not going to stoop to that mentality. Let's go get our asses waxed.
Right. Listen, this. Oh, and by the way, the single is "Lucky That Way." I'll play a little.
Is that right? I want to hear. Yeah.
Let me see. "Lucky That Way" sounds like your life now. Joe Walsh, the new solo album "Analog Man," and that's in stores tomorrow. Why do you always do that? In a lot of your songs, when you're singing about yourself, you say, "I'm not that special." I'm like, you know.
But you may know me.
Even like in Life's Been Good, you're like, "Yeah, my fans love me, but I'm not that great an artist." Why do you put yourself down in your own songs?
Well, I could either explain it or you could listen to the song.
It's in there. Okay.
Oh, it's in there. All right. It feels good to be you.
It does. Listen to the chorus.
I am.
Oh, yeah. Here comes the chorus.
When you wrote you had a Maserati, did you really have the Maserati?
It would be logical.
But do you really have the palm trees in the swimming pool now?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. Here we go.
Here we come. This is it.
There you go.
I'm just lucky that way.
Yeah.
What is it, Gary? How dare you interrupt my... What? He's handing me a piece of paper.
I'm going to tell you what it is.
Oh, here. Oh.
That's a song that Stevie wrote for Joe. God, she must have loved you.
What was the song?
The song is called "Has Anyone Ever Written Anything for You," as Joe said. And I thought he was talking to me. Listen to this lyric. "You know I'd rather be alone than be without you, don't you know? She'd rather be alone than be without you." What the fuck did you do to this girl? You must
He's just lucky that way.
You must have banged her silly. Were you in love with her?
As a sister.
Really? God, she was... I mean, I imagine this was the 70s, right?
I mean, she's like a soulmate, you know?
You still talk to her?
Once in a while.
This was like in the 70s, right? I mean, was there a more beautiful, physically beautiful woman than Stevie Nicks and all that talent? I mean, you would think that's the whole package. I mean, that would be my fantasy.
Were you not into her?
No, I was, Robin. That didn't come out right. All I'm saying is that we were seeking refuge, kind of, in each other's presence.
Because you both were into drugs at that point?
Kind of, yeah, there was that part of it, but we were on the road, we had careers, we were both lonely.
Why did you never marry her? Did the thought cross your mind at one point?
No.
And you never thought that way even in terms of like a powerful couple? Like, oh my God, there's two incredibly powerful people in rock and roll.
Or maybe that would have been too much.
Well, the relationship came and ran its course, as rock and roll relationships do.
Does it get competitive? Like, do you sit there and she was in Fleetwood Mac at that point, I guess?
No, she wasn't.
She wasn't.
No.
She was a solo, or she was in Buckingham Nicks.
Yeah.
And does it get competitive? Is that the problem? Like, you could never really marry another singer-songwriter because the two of you sit there and drive each other nuts with that stuff, career?
What made it possible was that we toured together.
Right. So when you tour together, it's
and we spent all that time together.
But you were not monogamous with her, so she probably got jealous too. Because knowing you back in those days, you were not going to be limited to one woman. True? You weren't going to be limited to one drink and not one woman. You were an addict.
We were both monogamous for that summer.
That's a pretty long time.
Yeah.
So you
A
felt
whole
something
season.
for her. Well, yeah, in rock and roll, that's 10 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. When we stopped touring, we
drifted apart.
I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to.
Look at you. What a life.
But do you think you could have been with somebody as powerful and talented as Stevie?
No, I don't think either of us could have committed to a lasting relationship in the state that we were in.
You surprised Steven Tyler's a judge on American Idol? Seriously. I mean, Steven Tyler's one of the great songwriter, great rock and roll stars. I
don't exactly know why he's doing that.
I had heard that it was for the money. That literally he had gone through so much money that it was like a $10 million payday.
That makes sense.
Yeah. You held on to a lot of your money, even though all the marriages and getting high and everything. How did you manage to hold on to your money? I know you're worth $164 million.
You know that?
I do.
Who'd you hear that from?
Your accountant told me.
He's still got $164 million on
Yes.
his own.
No one told me, but I read it on the internet that you were worth around $164 million. And that makes sense to me. Between the Eagles
and all the music,
and royalties and touring. But you could have lost it all, right?
I did.
You lost every dime you had?
Pretty much.
When was that?
When I went into recovery.
No kidding.
And then, in 1994, the Eagles decided to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had a clean start.
And they came to you and said, Joe, we're putting you in the band, but you got to get clean, right?
We can't do it without you. And we can't do it unless you're sober. Don and Glenn said that to me.
They saved your life.
It was an intervention. And they were real brothers when they did that.
That's right.
Because that's what I needed.
It motivated you.
You were broke?
So you are not worth $164 million.
No, I'm not.
Right. Because you got to get back. You know, that's a lot of money. Does that bother you? Does that bother you at all that you pissed away a lot of money?
Not the money, the time.
You lost a lot of time in your life.
Yeah. There's like 12 years in there. I wish I had back.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
But, I'm alive. I'm here.
It's true, because when you go through life that way, that high, it's like, wow, I don't even know what the fuck I did. There's so many things I could have learned.
Based on all accounts, I had a great time.
But you don't remember.
I probably remember more.
Yeah, you know more than I do.
I remember doing a TV show, and I wanted you to be a guest,
Howard,
and you
what
slept through it.
When I'm me all these questions, you know more than me.
I know, that's so true. All right, listen, Joe Walsh, it's exciting. New music from Joe. Analog Man is in stores tomorrow.
Hi, Marjorie, I love you.
Marjorie, I love you too, baby.
And Robin, I love you too.
I love you, Joe.
Hope you're feeling better.
JoeWalsh.com is where you can go to get all your Joe information. And Joe, anytime you come and see us, you know I like it. Next time, come back with a full album only about me. America's Sweetheart.
I'm going to call Leslie.
Call Leslie.
I think we could write a good song about you.
I think it's time you two teamed up and wrote a song about
that.
me.
Would be good.
I don't need you to make amends or anything like that with me. I'm fine with you.
Well, after we write the song, we may need to. Yeah.
The great and legendary Joe Walsh. Thanks, Joe.
Joe.
That was so cool.
Yeah.
What elements would a song about Howard Stern have to contain? If you were gonna get together with Leslie and write a song, what does a Howard Stern themed song sound like?
Funky.
Yeah.
Kind of funky, kind of Ramones.
Little funk, a little punk.
Yeah, yeah, funky punk or punky funk. Something like that. Words. Parts of it really nice and friendly, and parts of it awful. You know, like Howard.
Reflects his personality.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to talk to Leslie West, and I'll get back to you with more of it.
Cool. I think that would be a great song to hear.
Now, we got to think of stuff that rhymes with Stern.
Burn.
That's your homework assignment.
Burn is my first word. He's got a fire inside him.
Yeah. What rhymes with Stern? Well, no, I'm not going to go there. Great to be back.
Joe, it's great seeing you. One quick thing I was going to ask you. You guys seem very like-minded when you talk about, digital technology and the virtual world and its influence on music. Do you think Howard's an analog man in spirit? The way he approaches his show and the love of the performance and some of the errors that come along with it?
Howard wouldn't be Howard without all those analog years of being on the radio and, like I say, cart machines and stuff. Howard very good and belongs in the digital age. I know about it too, but Howard wouldn't be Howard without all those years of knowledge and insight of the analog days. You know, that's all I'll say.
All right, Joe. Best of luck with the new album.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Friend and show is Old Friends Week at the Stern Show. Today's Joan Rivers.
Okay.
Okay?
She's got a new book out, you know.
Yes, I know. I read about it in the newspaper yesterday.
You know what it's called? It's very similar to what I think you would title the book.
Yeah,
The first line is, I hate everyone.
That's it.
And then she says, starting with me. But I don't think you feel that way about yourself.
I don't hate myself.
You love yourself.
No, I don't.
I love you. Good morning, Joan.
Good morning.
How are you today?
A little disappointed because you don't have your ice cream machine anymore.
We got rid of that?
I think so.
That's
I
not
didn't
right.
see it. Not right.
We lured you with ice cream, then we took it away.
Very important. Good morning, good morning. Otherwise, I'm fine, thank you.
And you have a new book out,
I
so...
have a new book called Joan Rivers, I Hate Everybody, and it's the first book of comedy that was ever banned. Very excited.
It's already been banned?
It's been banned by, I'm not allowed to say the name, Costco.
That's kind of cool, though.
Beyond cool.
I mean...
Beyond cool, that means the nice thing is no very fat people will be able to buy it and hide it in their folds.
But everywhere else you can pick it up.
Everywhere else you can pick it up.
Just not if you want to buy bulk
No,
food
you can't
items.
buy it in bulk, can't buy a pallet. You can go to BJ's and buy it.
Well,
So
welcome.
that's what's going on. I'm thrilled to be here.
Good to see you again, Joan.
It's good to be going on the air like a real big person. And how is Howard now that he's rich?
I think he's doing well. I think he's enjoying this
Who is
run
he on with?
AGT.
He's on with
It's Howie
Howie?
Mandel.
and Sharon.
Yes.
Okay, good.
I think he's enjoying this run, though.
He should. He should have done this a long time ago.
You've said it since the beginning.
From the beginning. He's terrific.
All right, I'll let you get to Howard.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, there's one other interesting thing, Howard. You know, it's funny. Tim had dinner with David Brenner last night.
Yeah.
And, you know, David Brenner's like trying to figure out, you know, how to reinvent himself and everything. But the question is like, Joan has sort of managed to remain iconic. And I know it's because she's funny. But there's a lot. Maybe it's because Joan just never stops. Maybe that's why. But she's certainly put herself in a place.
Well, she's also, like, she's willing to say shit that, like, David Brenner won't.
I guess, yeah, I guess that's what
like
it is.
She's outrageous.
Look, I got to tell you, I just filled her in on Robin in very broad strokes because she didn't know anything, and she's already got. She cracked like 3 jokes in there that made me laugh my ass off.
Oh no!
No, they're not bad. They're not. They're just stupid. But they're. I mean, they're nothing that will insult. Robin will laugh at them, and I would tell them to you, but I want you to laugh at them.
Okay. Hey, Joan Rivers is here. Joan Rivers just came out with yet another new book, I Hate Everyone, starting with me. It's in stores today. A living legend.
Now, is she calling herself a living legend now?
I'm calling her a living legend. She's an icon, don't you think?
I didn't know if that was in the copy or if you said that yourself.
No, I'm calling her a living legend. I'm calling
All right.
Joan a living legend.
I certainly think so.
What?
Thank you.
You refuse to do the show without Robin?
I don't do the show unless Robin is sitting there.
Robin's gotten so lazy with this show that she does it from home now.
That bitch has lost so much weight.
That's right.
You can't find me.
I love you on the thing with Howie Mandel and Sharon.
America's Got Talent.
Oh, well, you know the name. I don't have to learn it.
Yeah, why do you need to learn that? Why do you need to be bothered? I enjoy doing it, I believe it or
You
not.
look like you enjoy doing
I'm
it.
having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, what is left to do in my career except shock everyone with doing a family show?
Yeah.
I mean, really, when you think about it, who would have expected that one?
But you're so cute, and so I go back to NBC when they had you in that closet.
Yeah,
Remember that?
right. Yeah,
So
long way.
You should have done this a long time ago.
You know, it's funny. Gary was just in here. We were talking about you behind your back, and I said, and he said, we have had so many comics on our show over the years, and we were just naming all the people who kind of have disappeared in terms of their careers. And Gary goes, don't you think it's amazing that Joan Rivers, I mean, really think about it, like she's still relevant and funny and like really has a real career as opposed to like a Mercy booking somewhere.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, and it is amazing. So he said, what do you think the secret is? And I said, I think the secret is she's funny. She's like
she's actually talented.
I keep looking over.
Yeah, I know, but I can't imagine. Oh, you keep looking over for Robin.
For Robin, I get his stupid voice.
Well, I keep looking for her, and I want them to tape a picture of her over there.
What are you people talking about? What are you talking about?
but no, it's hard work. No, yes,
because
funny.
Aren't there days where you go, I don't want to keep up with pop culture?
No.
Honestly.
I don't want to keep up. I don't want, if one more person says, I love John Carson, who gives a shit?
Nobody remembers John.
The man is disintegrated even in his coffin.
Right.
There's nothing left there except 3 bones.
Although I did watch a special on Johnny Carson, and you were a part of it.
And
you were very complimentary to him.
And they cut out the one part, the truth. It's where I called him. And he hung up on me. And they have all these people saying, look who's saying it. The producer who hates me, who I hate.
They cut that out.
And they have the people saying she never called him.
Oh.
And I called the producer. Then they wanted me to do PR for it. And I called them up. I said, you have just perpetrated a lie.
Right.
Well, Johnny's wife, I said, the third wife with the implants.
Right.
Yeah, she was walking the beach looking for him in Malibu. I know how she met him.
Johnny's wife has a say on the special?
Yes, she decided. Alex decided.
Is it true that...
Number 22.
Is it true that your birthday is coming up?
Yeah.
Can I say... Are
79.
You,
How about
I didn't know if you gave that out, but...
That's amazing.
Can you believe you're 79?
No. I'm in perfect health. That's the joke. And everyone around me is dropping dead.
Because I can't even believe it's 79. Like, when you wake up in the morning that you even care
I don't even think
about your career. I really can't believe it.
But I love what I do.
Yeah, I know, but like...
Howard, they just banned my book. How fabulous is that?
Yeah, that was weird.
Fabulous. It's some asshole.
Who is banning
But
your
where
book?
was it banned, by the way?
I'm not allowed to say the name, so you have to give me a hint.
Okay, Walmart?
No.
No? Costco? Okay. They banned your book because, the
people
back...
that sell pink meat.
It's funny. It says here, on the back of your book, there are quotes. Will Chamberlain said about your book, if I was alive, even I wouldn't fuck her.
Yeah, that's what I wrote quotes that I thought were appropriate for the book.
Dr. Kevorkian said of your new book, this author should be euthanized.
That's right. Maria Antoinette was the one they didn't like.
It says, let her eat shit.
Yeah, I thought that was a testimonial to their produce department.
So they were afraid that if someone picked up the book jacket, they would see the word shit, and then that would corrupt them.
Meanwhile, they sell ammo to children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Who was ever hurt by that?
Yeah.
It's so stupid. But I got so excited because I'm from the generation where they used to ban books in Boston.
Right.
I said, this is fabulous because it's a funny book.
It is funny. In fact, I was looking through the book, as long as we're talking about your book.
Oh, we don't have to.
No. I want to talk about it because there was one quote that I thought was outrageous. And in a politically correct society, to say this, I'm going to quote you now. I thought this was pretty wild. Let me find it because I have a lot of quotes.
I have never been politically correct.
All right, listen to this. You write about, in your new book, the TV show Glee.
Yeah.
You say on Glee, all the homo kids. Now, this is a quote. Okay, because a lot of people aren't saying that kind of stuff anymore. Okay. On Glee, all the homo kids are smiling and giggly, and they spend every day singing in the halls. When I went to high school, the homos spent most of their days hiding in their lockers crying.
That's right.
You feel a show like Glee should be about kids hiding in their lockers, right?
Everybody's happy. The fat girl is singing.
Yeah, right. It's true. In high school, who like where is the reality in that? The fat girl had to hide.
Leah Michelle, whose nose continues around the corner.
You're like, what planet is this?
Yeah, this is not the high school I went to.
Well, maybe the feeling is if they present an imaginary high school where everyone has fun, that all the high schools around the country, all the kids will think gay people are fun. And
let's include the crippled kid on the team. I was on the baseball team. I played so far out. By the time I came in from the outfield, we had to go back again.
Do you think it built your character, Joan, that you were ostracized as a teenager and that you were locked in your locker many times and things like that? Like, in other words, it built character. It can't all be good.
I think it's great sometimes. And I'm being serious now.
Go ahead.
That you get a couple of knocks. I think the stupidest thing is all these little crappy kids who can't play, they all get like a certificate.
A trophy.
You were good, you get a trophy. No.
You were bad.
You know what I hate the most?
What?
When people say to the child, the divorce had nothing to do with you. Meanwhile, your big head stretched your mother's vagina.
and
she's flapping in the wind.
It's so big that the husband didn't want to bang her
That's
anymore.
it. The husband and 4 people were in there.
You make a good point. Now, on Octomom, you wrote that her uterus is like a sausage maker.
Yes.
You're right. It's true.
Right.
I spoke to her the other day. Wait, I'm gonna give you a couple of quotes.
Did you talk to her?
I did.
You can't talk to her.
We did speak to her.
Totally crazy. You can't.
Yeah, she's totally wild. She just doesn't shut up.
And why won't nobody's addressing that these children are trapped in a house with her?
I know. Well, thank God she's not Kate Gosselin.
Now, what about this? Can you be sued in your book for writing about Oprah in this manner? Do you know? Did you check this with lawyers?
I checked this with lawyers, and it's a humor book.
I see. Because it says here.
That's how you get away with it.
It's a humor book.
You say Oprah is Stedman's beard.
That's what I think.
Yeah, you say, yeah, sure, Oprah denies it, but even Abraham Lincoln didn't have this big a beard. I know Oprah's opened schools and raised money and given away big, Buicks and things like that, but so what? She can't keep her weight at a reasonable level because that's important to you, right? I mean, someone has to keep their weight at a reasonable level. One day she weighs 140. 2 days later, she's being fitted for a boat cover. How long did it take you to write this vicious book?
Yes, I mean, did this
Honestly.
just pour out of you, or did you have to labor over it?
You're such an angry woman.
I did. It's funny.
Are you angry? Are you an angry woman?
Oh, I think I'm furious.
Yeah, you are. What do you think you're furious about, honestly?
About the stupidity of everything.
Do you think that's sort of
Seriously,
to go deeper? Does it go back to your mother and father? No, I'm being serious for a second.
Yeah.
Do you think
Like your personal anger.
Do you think you're so angry that it goes back to like your mom and dad not treating you properly?
They were very good parents.
Were they?
Well, yeah, and I had what they call a very good childhood.
They understood you?
To a
Then
point.
what happened?
I get a feeling they didn't.
My father was a doctor. He worked hard. My mother was a housewife. She did her best.
Right.
They cared about the girls, my sister and I. Did they sit there and worry? Like I worried everything that Melissa did.
Right.
I doubt it.
Is your sister still alive?
My sister's still alive.
Is she totally jealous of you and your career?
Probably. But
she married woman?
She married, 2 children, both did well. She's a lawyer.
Are you angry that she had the marriage that lasted and that she's happier than you?
She's not happy than I am.
She isn't? Oh, she's miserable?
I'm very happy.
Is she happy in her marriage?
She's happy. Well, he died.
Oh, he died.
So
she is happy.
Well, look at the age.
Yeah, right. How many guys last that long?
These men are dropping like flies.
You're not kidding. So when you write a book like this, you sit down, and how long does it take you to write a book?
I wrote it it's a humor book. It's just what I think about everybody.
Right.
And what I think about everything. Children on planes.
Right. Terrible, right?
Well,
what do you do?
Where is Casey Anthony when you need her?
Right.
How are they supposed to get around you?
I don't care. When I had Melissa, we went on a plane. I would bring wrapped gifts. Like she had a Barbie doll, so I'd wrap up a pair of shoes. every half hour, she got another little present that she had to open and play with. She was my responsibility to keep her quiet.
So you kept her quiet by doing that on the plane. That's very fair to the other passengers.
That's the only way you should do it.
Right. You planned ahead.
Or chloroform it. I mean, you got two choices.
Yeah, because I went to the movies the other day. I went to see Avengers, which is a scary movie to bring a 5-year-old to. And these 5-year-olds, I mean, you can't do that. You can't bring a 5-year-old to a movie like that.
And God forbid you turn around and say, please keep your child quiet or get out.
Oh, I told the woman to get the fuck out.
Good.
Yeah, I really did.
You should.
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't punch me in the face, but I mean, I was really pissed. The kid's going, Mommy, I'm scared. I'm scared. And I go, get her the fuck out of here.
Take him out.
Right. I'm angry, too.
I took Cooper out of Mary Poppins. He got scared of that ugly Mary Poppins, so he left.
Your grandson got scared at Mary Poppins?
When he was young.
I'm worried about this kid.
Well, listen, an ugly woman with an umbrella.
Do you get jealous of female comics, particularly female comics who, like, you kind of see, like Lisa Lampanelli right now is very hot, right?
Well, to a point. How many black I fucked him jokes can you do?
So you're not thrilled with
She'll cool
her?
off. No, she's a one-note comic. She's fine, but she's not. Here we go. She's fine.
Why are you being diplomatic?
Because she's going to come after me, and she's probably a very nice girl.
Oh, my.
No, but I'm
I
saying,
don't think
like
she's
some
one
people
note.
say Lisa Lampanelli is the new Joan Rivers. You know,
No,
they're always
no
looking for
way.
the new Joan Rivers. But you feel she has not earned that title.
Oh, no. She's very good on a certain level.
Right.
And Joan Rivers, we don't need a new one. We've got one.
And I think this sounds terrible. It's 7 young. I think I'm unique. I think I'm very lucky.
Well, you are unique.
And I think I'm the best stand-up alive today. How about that?
But you're not gracious, let's say,
No,
to
I'm not
like
gracious.
Lisa. Right. You're like I don't need to be gracious to Lisa. Like you don't feel like, hey, look what I've created. I've created a job for a lot of women.
Are you gracious? I'm
not gracious.
I'm fighting for where I love what I do. I do it great, and I get out of my way.
So if you see Lisa Lampanelli, do you go up to her and say, "Oh, you're doing fine," but you don't embrace her?
I'm doing. She started with me one time.
She did?
About something. I thought, first of all, I didn't even know who she was.
Right.
So then they said, well, Lisa Lampanelli said, they didn't use her on the comedy special, my comedy thing. So she started doing a lot. I can say, who is she?
Right.
You know. And then I saw her stuff. And every time you see her, it's still, I fucked a black guy, I got a black guy, I need a fucking black guy. Okay, let's get a second story in here.
You've fucked many black guys.
Oh, my God.
And you don't dwell on it.
Melissa's furious.
She never even talked about it.
I've talked to a point.
By the
but
way,
Melissa gets upset because she's jealous.
in your new book, you talk about black people, and you say...
I talk about everybody.
Yeah, and you say that you feel black people already have to figure out what to call themselves.
Yes.
You say in the book that, when you were a young girl, everyone said colored, and then all of a sudden they wanted to be Negro. Then you say they wanted to be black. Now they want to be African American. You said, white people aren't that bright. We can't follow along. Pick a name and fucking stick with it.
Pick a name and I'll do it.
You say this in the new book.
Yes, the book is hilarious.
So there's wisdom in this book.
Thank you, Howard. There's wisdom.
And talk about when you used to fuck black guys. Melissa's real father is Malcolm X, you reveal in the end.
Well, no, actually, it's Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington is
I went
Melissa's
for
father.
looks.
That's right. A lot of people don't know that. 79 years old.
Yeah, but I just got my checkup.
And you're still fighting with these young comics.
You're goddamn right.
Maybe that's what keeps you alive.
And when they come over to me and they say, you opened the door, and you want to say, sweetheart, I am still opening those doors. Doors you won't even see for 10 years.
And you say your health is good. Have you been to the doctor?
Yeah, all the time.
And you probably go like constantly, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure you're going to stay alive.
Yeah.
You're checking everything.
Well, Melissa always says things like, if you get pains in your left arm and short of breath, that's good. It means you're losing weight.
Don't check that one.
Don't check that, mother.
Can you even count back how many years it's been since you lost your virginity, or you've lost count?
Well, it's all grown back.
You're kidding. You haven't gotten laid in so long that your virginity
I wouldn't
grew
know.
back.
This hotel has been closed so long.
Your hymen grew back.
Oh, it's so sad.
I hope you write about that.
I can marry a Hasidic because I'm pure.
You're pure. You could act.
But does Joan Rivers masturbate at 79?
That's a good question.
That's a wonderful question. And we won't go there. Ask Jane Fonda with her new body.
Boy, she looks good, right?
She does, yeah.
She looks
You
great.
got to admire her. In fact, someone said to me the other day, young guy, he goes, this sounds weird, I guess, but I guess Jane Fonda was up here promoting, or he saw her on TV, and he said, I'd fuck her.
Yeah. Don't you look... Oh, all right. This is one of my big pet peeves. Beautiful older women and a real schlumpy guy with stuff coming out of his nose. I might fuck her. And you want to go, she wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, this guy, I think he was missing half his limbs, and he was ready to go fuck.
That's a turn on to me, though.
Hey, listen, compared to who you're dating, it's a pleasure. Are you dating?
I'm not dating now.
Why won't you say it? I want to know, does a 79-year-old woman still need to masturbate? Honestly, but a straight answer, you do.
Everybody.
Wow. I thought that maybe the desire leaves.
The desire never, and the look for romance never leaves.
Wow.
But
is it romantic masturbating?
Oh yeah, well, I always put a picture up.
You still pray for romance?
I'm moving to women now, though.
You still pray for romance?
Yeah, I would still love a romance.
You never made it with a woman, did you?
No,
never.
Truly, never even had like a girl crush. No.
Right, girl crush is silly.
Yeah, that's so stupid. What are you talking about?
Where did you get your vibrator from?
The boobies get in the way.
Where did you get your vibrator from? QVC?
My vibrator, I got when I did.
You got to put out a line.
I had a vibrator show on vibrators on my daytime show.
Yeah.
So this vibrator that I have is so old. It says "Beat the Japs." It was made in World War II.
Let me understand something with you. You're at war with everybody.
Yeah.
Isn't it true that you met Will Ferrell? I'm going back now a couple of years.
Yeah. Very
in 2005 Golden Globes. Will Ferrell was on the red carpet. You were doing interviews. And you said he was very rude. Now, he seems like a guy who's nice to everybody.
Well, I was talking to Mike Nichols, interviewing Mike Nichols on the air. We all know. Live on E. And Will Ferrell, Mr. Important, walked up, turned Mike, and began to have a conversation with him. Not on the air with me.
Oh, that's
Do
funny.
you understand?
But isn't that kind of funny?
You son of a bitch.
Wait
Who
a
do you
second.
think you are? You big stupid elf.
Do you think that was meant intentionally to be funny? Because that sounds funny to me. That like you're.
It wasn't funny.
It wasn't.
When Robin Williams does something funny, you know it's funny.
Right.
When Dustin Hoffman, no, this was just an egocentric asshole.
But I know you love big moments. You know to recognize a moment. When that guy did, why didn't you confront him on the air?
I tried. He wouldn't stop talking to him. It wasn't
That's
funny.
That's funny.
It's funny, but
so
it
you mean
wasn't
you went
funny.
up to this guy and you're scared? Listen, you.
Look, hello, Mike. Hello.
So
they probably have it somewhere on E on tape.
So you're convinced that Will Ferrell isn't a genius who constructed a situation for you that was brilliant?
No, this was called extraordinarily rude.
Wow.
An ego beyond egos. And you're funny, but you're not that funny.
Is it true that you claim, now, again, I can't even believe this number, that you've had a total of 739 cosmetic procedures?
I did it as a joke.
That is a joke,
and
right?
some moron picked it up and wrote it.
I said, how is that even? You would not be alive.
What would you have
I would be
left
covered
to
in
do?
bandages.
Yeah.
And by the way, let me say, how about how Letterman all of a sudden has embraced you?
Isn't we really like each other.
It's about fucking time.
Yeah, well, at least he does it. Leno, that asshole.
Scumbag.
Scumbag.
Let's call it the way it is.
That not funny, lucky.
That motherfucker.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go, baby. You think you're angry. Come on right now.
What is Leno doing? He doesn't acknowledge.
Never acknowledged, never asked on the show.
I can't acknowledge Joan Rivers. She hasn't done anything.
Yeah, a moron. But all the others, Jimmy Kimmel's been wonderful, Jimmy Fallon's been amazing, Letterman.
I think you're terrific on Letterman.
I love working with him.
I've watched every appearance you did on Letterman, and I used to say to you for years when I always had you on the show, I say, I don't understand why David Letterman doesn't have you on, and Leno and all these guys.
Yeah.
You're a terrific guest.
Yeah.
You come out there, you're prepared, and you work it. Like a woman who wants to succeed.
Yeah, I still do it like it's my first shot.
That's it. Do you think Leno doesn't have you on because it's still tied in with him trying to identify with Johnny Carson, that dumb fuck?
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Right.
But at this point, he'll never have me on because I always say, quote, one funny joke Leno ever said, and nobody can come up with it.
Wait a second, though. As weird as this will sound, I will defend Jay as a young stand-up comic. He was great, right? Am I right or wrong?
As a young stand-up comic, he was very funny.
Very funny.
Very funny.
I would say one of the top guys.
Well, let's not push that either.
Really?
But he was good. He was very good. He was very good. Gary Shandling. There was a whole group that was coming up at the same time.
Does Gary Shandling still? How does he live? I mean,
I love Gary. He must have made a pile of money.
But on what? I asked him. I was at a party with him. I go, "How are you alive?" I go, "How do you eat?" I mean, what? You were on HBO. They're infamously cheap.
And he was on the.
So ask me how Bill Maher can buy a
$20 million.
Where did Bill Maher? I began to throw up my breakfast yesterday. 6 bagels came out of my mouth.
Now, Bill Maher's a good comic.
I love Bill. He's very smart. Where did you get the money to buy a baseball team?
Well, we were asking this question on the air yesterday. We were doing the finances. We said, like, how much money could Bill? In other words, to shell out $20 million to own part of the Mets, you would have to be worth at least $60-70 million at least. Because you can't give up every $20 million you got.
And maybe he's getting kickbacks from Huffington Post.
we had a theory that he didn't put up $20 million. That maybe he put up $1 million, and that other people are involved in his $20 million.
Right.
Do you think that's the case?
Yeah. Then why don't they ever come to me with that? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. But
my fashion
how are
police.
You not, what are you worth? Seriously.
Nothing. I'm not making.
That is such horseshit.
I swear to you, on my grandson.
How are you worth
on my
nothing?
Because I was always salaried. Fashion police. I'm doing it now. It's a career move.
I know.
Joan and Melissa. It's a career move. Everything is a goddamn career move. It's time I got a little cash here. I don't own anything.
Joan and Melissa going into the third season.
Third season.
You don't own a piece of that show?
No.
And you're telling me that here's a show that's successful. 3 seasons now on E!
Yeah.
And they're not going to pay. They're like, no, Joan, this is just a vanity project.
Yeah. But look what it will do for your I'm not starving. I live very high.
I know.
As you know. But I don't have this kind of money. My accountant calls me up all the time. You got to sell either the country house or the city house.
Really? You don't have that kind of bread?
No.
It's remarkable.
Because the clothing line, the
what is that?
Yeah, the jewelry and the clothing line. I've done very well. They've kept me through the lean periods.
Right.
The jewelry and the clothing support me so I can do fashion police and
I feel like all of the money went into your face.
A lot of it went in my face, a little in the breast.
You're seeing it. You're looking at it.
I'm looking at it. Is it true?
Edgar's funeral cost me a fortune.
Tell me the truth, Joan, and clear this up for me. I know on your show, on your television show on E!, you smoked marijuana.
That was on We.
That was on We, right. You're on We and E.
I'm on We and E and QVC.
How about a real network, finally?
Yeah, I'd like to be on NBC, but...
Exactly. Well, they're busy with me.
Exactly, which is great.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And Chelsea Handler's on NBC, too, you know. Hey, so this is interesting. I see you biting your tongue. Hold it. Last time you were here, you let Chelsea Handler have it. You gave it to her good. And you said, how dare you?
I don't care. I don't think she's particularly funny. We all know how she got what she got. She's doing okay. Good.
You're referring to the fact that she was dating Ted Harbor.
Dating?
Well, she was living with Ted Harbor.
Yeah, whatever.
Right.
Good. I don't care. But don't you come after me, you whore.
Who hates you? Joan Rivers was critical of you at one point, wasn't she?
Well, Joan Rivers. I mean, what the fuck do I care about Joan Rivers?
You don't care? It doesn't bother you? It does bother you.
I saw Joan Rivers the other day at E! And she said, hi, her and that daughter.
Melissa. Yeah.
And
you don't like Melissa?
No, I mean, I don't not like her. I mean,
right.
But I don't think about either one of them ever.
I have heard through the grapevine that the E! Network came to you and told you to shut your mouth about Chelsea Handler.
They told both of us, and I think it was very smart.
Why?
Because, actually, the smarter thing was if we had a big feud. I think that would have been really smart.
Right.
It's like back to banning my book. I think that's great. But they said, please stop it.
You went along with that?
Oh, they're not. So they're lovely at E!
So what?
So I said, absolutely.
But what does that? I mean, I had Chelsea on the show. I asked her about you. That's how this whole thing got started.
Yeah.
And you came out, guns a-blazing, and
now
said, "Who are you?"
And we went to the upfronts, which is where you go and you meet everybody that's connected with the network. And she said something very nice about me at the podium.
Did she come up to you and say this?
No, we don't talk when we see each other.
You're kidding. Still, even at the upfronts, you didn't talk to each other.
Well, upfronts 200 people. You can avoid a lot of people.
So there you were.
I can't talk to her. I can't talk to Lisa Lepid.
I mean, you're
How do you go to a party these days?
I don't.
She stays home. She goes to England to go to parties.
I'm surprised she's not there today.
There's some people
Queen of England's having a jubilee.
Yeah, I know. I should be there. She called me last night.
Didn't you?
Where were you?
Didn't you do a stand up in front of the Queen and said the word fuck?
Fuck, yeah.
And you told her you can behead me now?
Yeah, right now.
Right here,
I said,
behead me.
okay, let's just get it over.
Was
Behead
she
me.
offended by that?
He laughed.
He left.
He
Prince
left.
Charles.
No, Philip.
Prince Philip.
And when they came down the line, the receiving line afterwards, he said to me, very funny, very funny, very funny.
Yeah. Very funny for a Jew.
Very funny for a Jewess.
So you well, get back to this for a second.
The Chelsea
the Chelsea
Handler
Handler thing. I got to understand how this works.
I'm not going to make a feud here with her.
I'm not saying a feud, but I want the real Joan Rivers on this.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I want to know behind the scenes what goes on in your life. You came on here. You said, who is she? How dare she not look at me in the halls?
Right.
How dare she act like she doesn't know who I am? Because everyone knows who Joan Rivers is.
And that she's superior at times. Yeah.
Right. You really let her have it. I know my audience was very excited by this. They were like, wow, Joan, right on, blah, 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 blah. They like the feud.
Right.
But you come in here today, you bite your tongue.
Because I like the people at E. And
What
it's
did they
calmed
say?
down.
They said,
just let her alone. Let her alone.
Well, why?
E wants it to look like we're a happy family.
But you're not.
Well, we are. I don't need another feud.
So you go
How many times did I cross the street on one block?
It's amazing you're still alive. I'm surprised a hit wasn't put out on you
You know what I'm
years ago.
saying? There's so-and-so I got to cross over. There's so-and-so I got to cross
So
back.
you go to the upfronts. You're standing there, and Chelsea Handler's in the room. It's uncomfortable. Doesn't she walk over to the icon Joan Rivers and say,
should.
look, I'm sorry that this happened? No, she did not.
No.
Again, she dissed you.
But she went on stage and
Wait
she
a
said
second. Yeah.
something very nice about Joan.
What did she say?
I was backstage, but my friend said she said something like, my friend Joan is here or something.
My friend Joan, who I don't even look at when...
But she said that, and I thought that was very nice and very gracious.
So if people say something publicly, but then behind the scenes won't even look at you...
Well, that's me all the time.
But no, that's not true. That's not true.
Last night, Meryl Streep gave me her garbage to throw away. It was at a party.
No, be honest.
She said, could you let this...
I would have thought Joan Rivers would have said to E, listen, go fuck yourself. I'll say what I want about everyone. And she should apologize to me.
And she should have. But you want to know, then you have to say, I am the grand icon. And I'm not. I am still in that trench fighting.
Did Betty White and you smoke weed together? Is that a true story?
No.
You were
I did the Betty White show.
You did?
Yeah.
And you even say in your new
again.
book, you even
really,
never again. Why?
They were lovely. Betty was lovely. All the cast was First day, I also did Drop Dead Diva, which is first day I get there, and I'm playing her auntie, her twin sister that comes back. So I say to them, where do I come from? Should I have luggage? They said, just read the lines. Now we read the lines, and I start to the way I work. Let me ad-lib, let me see. They call my manager the first day. They said, tell her to do the script as is.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa, okay.
Then why did you hire Joan Rivers?
Well, maybe they want you to just stick to the script.
Well, mistake.
Wait.
Brilliant.
I want you to explain this.
It wasn't that brilliant.
But explain it to me.
And the cast was lovely. Cast was terrific.
All right, but explain it to me. They wrote a script. They send it to you.
Right.
And you agree to do it.
Because you always figure, when I did Suddenly Susan, you go in, I worked with Kathy, you ad-libbed and you came out with something terrific.
But you know on a lot of these shows.
I did Nip Tuck. What can you do to do it? You've got a writer who's funny. Let her give you an input. And I always say, if you like, let me try it. You don't like it, we'll throw it away. I never say.
But some writers and some shows
obviously
are very scared or afraid to let go of their words. They want them exact.
Fine.
And, so...
Fine. And they had them exact. My big joke was, gee, is the minister here?
You were disappointed because you felt you didn't come off funny.
I came off like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then they called me and they said they want to put it up for a...
Emmy.
And I said no.
It's not Emmy.
It's not my best work.
And
now,
you've won Emmys.
2 weeks later, I go down to do Drop Dead Diva.
Right.
And they said, let's work together. It's going to be so adorable.
What is Drop Dead Diva?
It's on ABC. USA.
It's a scripted show?
Scripted show. But again, you come in on Monday, you're shooting on Friday.
They said, why don't you add some Joan Rivers to this?
And let's see. And if we don't, and I always say, if you don't like it, don't use it.
So you got insulted.
And on the Betty White show, not insulted. I just thought, you morons. I've been on Broadway.
But won't there be
They didn't go
chaos?
for the best.
But won't there be chaos if everybody comes in with their own lines and their own ideas?
Don't hire a comedian who is a writer and give them on Monday a script that isn't particularly funny. And the jokes did not get laughs that they gave me.
They probably thought it was funny, though. You understand?
Yeah, of course. I'm a
Right.
writer. I've written
Right.
script. But if you walked in now and said, let me try this, I'd say, try it. Let's see.
Right. Be a little experimental.
Let's see. It's Monday. By Wednesday, we'll say yes or no.
It's always a bad experience.
It was a terrible experience. And not the cast. The cast
For some
was
reason,
adorable.
I'm
Because I
sure.
really loved the cast.
Yeah, well, what do they care?
Yeah,
I
but
didn't say
somebody
goodbye
was
to anybody when I
complaining.
walked out.
You didn't. You were that pissed.
That pissed.
But you were professional. You did the show.
Did the show, and I was so upset I couldn't memorize the lines.
And haven't you even said you don't particularly? You're angry with Betty White because you were in line to get all these old age parts.
Yeah, and then that bitch came back.
And she's getting every single part.
Well,
she's beating you out on every
You
single
know,
audition.
she got the "I'm falling, I can't get up" commercial.
That's
You know
right.
how many times I've laid on my bathroom floor?
And meanwhile, by the way, do you own that device? The I can't get up.
Melissa gave it to me, but she won't give me the batteries.
Because I would think that would be good, just in case you fall.
Just
down.
in case I fall.
But there's nobody around if you fall, right?
Well, I have a Swiffer. Is that what they call those terrible machines? Or a Rolly? What do they call those?
It's I don't know what they call it, but I know
The
what
little
it is.
mop thing?
The thing you'd sit on. They always have the old lady smiling.
Oh,
Right.
the scooter.
The scooter wooter. And there's grandma smiling because she's right. And the face of the family is always like, oh, fuck, the old bitch is moving again.
People say to me, "Did Joan really smoke pot on her
Yes.
show?" You really, because sometimes on these reality shows can be staged a little bit.
No, ours is.
You went and took the joint.
It was so much fun.
Did you smoke with Melissa?
Oh, she gets very angry. She smokes a little.
She smokes, but she won't smoke with you.
No, she's wrong.
What do you mean she's wrong?
I think we have a great time.
If you smoke together?
Yeah.
She doesn't want to smoke with you because you're her mother. She
I
wants,
know.
She doesn't want every barrier broken.
Yeah.
So who did you smoke marijuana with?
I smoke with my friend Lynn Coplitz on the show.
Is she your age?
Nobody's my age.
But is she?
No, she's Lynn is probably in her late 40s.
And so you.
We laughed. You laugh. You just.
And how many times did you inhale the marijuana?
It didn't take that often, that much, because I hadn't done it for 40 years.
You would smoke probably back in the Lenny Bruce days or something.
I smoked. Last I smoked was in Lake Tahoe, probably in 1980.
1980 you smoked. And so you took it, and you took what? How many drags on it?
Oh, a lot. I was having a very good time.
And you don't get paranoid? You don't...
I just laugh and laugh and laugh.
You do?
Everything strikes me as funny.
And did you go to Melissa, your daughter, and say, look, now I want to smoke marijuana with you. This will be a good time.
No, I think we're going to go call her when I get off of here.
Yeah, but you didn't discuss it with her.
She has a new clothing line for Zappos, which is great.
Right.
And so I'm going to say to her, when you sell your first, 25,000 dresses, we'll smoke pot together.
Does she smoke weed? She really does?
Yeah.
She tells you, Mom, I smoke weed, but I don't want to smoke with you specifically.
Yeah.
She feels it would bum her out.
Yeah. I think, I'm the mother.
I was reading, and this might be irrelevant to a lot of younger people who listen to the show, but did you make love, back in the day, did you bang Robert Vaughn, the famous movie actor?
No, I would have.
No, not Robert Vaughn. Wait, I got the name. Robert Mitchum.
Robert Mitchum?
You banged Robert. Yeah, Robert Vaughn was Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Right.
Robert Mitchum was a very famous, good-looking movie star.
Fabulous
Rugged,
looking.
yeah.
You
Soul
fucked him.
of a poet.
How did you bang the soul of a poet?
I met him on the Tonight Show.
Look at the smile on your face.
Yeah, she's still smiling.
Calm
He was
down.
great.
When you
He's
say great, you mean
He was sexy, great looking man. Go look at some of those old
big
movies.
penis?
Everything was perfect.
No shit. What happened?
And he was a poet. He was amazing.
He just wasn't good looking. He was amazing.
He was amazing.
Did you smoke pot with him? He was a big pot smoker.
Yeah, we
you
smoked
did.
a little pot.
How? Look at the
Now,
smile
what
on
was
your face.
he-
Look at you. And you don't even light. You don't light up like this when I bring up Edgar.
Well, Edgar, I was married to.
Right.
Robert Mitchum was a one-night stand.
Was it one night?
Yeah, it was great.
Were you disappointed it was one night?
Oh, I would have, if he had said toot toot, let's go.
Right.
I would have said, Melissa who?
Right.
I would have sold it to Octomom.
So wait a minute. I'm trying to. You were married and you had a one.
Oh, let's not go there.
Oh wow. You had a child.
Yeah, I was married.
You were married. Robert Mitchum wants
Comes
to
on
bang.
the Tonight Show.
Go ahead.
And he's guest, and he's
Right.
very charming, and we had a drink after, and it was fabulous.
You cheated on your husband.
Yeah.
Did you go home and tell him?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hello, Edgar. Let me tell you.
Did Edgar ever find out?
And the next time Edgar and I made love, I said, "You know Robert Mitchum."
Hey, Edgar, you're not that. You know Robert Mitchum.
You know
and
Robert Mitchum.
Did
He
you
can't even write a couplet.
before Edgar died? You never confessed.
No.
So you now talk about this because Edgar is gone.
He's dead. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't hurt
Was there a lot of cheating on
No,
Edgar?
no,
Be honest.
No. I mean,
a couple
no.
of times.
3 times.
Because you were in show business and
And it's 20 years.
right.
And especially when you're on the road with a play, you get very
lonely.
You get lonely, and it's very intense work.
And it's intense also that Robert Mitchum, a very famous A-list movie star, wants to have sex with you. I mean, it's almost intoxicating.
And he was, as I said, he knew poetry. He knew books. He wasn't what you saw on the screen.
Was he much older than you at that point?
Oh, no, probably.
Yeah, and
Yeah, he was an older man, but still older. I was probably in my 30s, and he was older. He was probably 52.
Was he a married man at that point, too? Were the both of you married?
I think he was always married.
He was always married.
Yeah.
And so he sees you on The Tonight Show, and let's face it, you are very seductive on The Tonight Show.
Yeah,
you're very
sure.
good you're very good at your craft. Don't be honest.
And I was funny, and I was young, and what the hell?
And so he
I
says
don't think
to you,
I don't think he'd be sitting and smiling now about me.
right. He said, who knows?
He'd probably say, "Joan who?"
But he
Never happened. Who? Oh, yeah.
But so when he says to you on The Tonight Show, you're sitting there with Johnny.
Have a drink afterwards.
Let's have a drink. Oh, my God. Your heart must have been a flutter.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. Look at your face.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's great. It's great.
I mean, you're like, I could see
Yeah.
you're imagining him fucking you.
Yeah, it was
I
great.
can see it. Did you feel guilty at all?
Oh, you feel terribly sad. Terribly guilty.
About when you go back to bed with
Yeah,
Edgar?
with Edgar. Terrible.
Yeah, and you're like,
Terrible.
how
But-
do you get past? Not that bad.
She got over it.
All right, because you still light up thinking about it.
Yeah.
Did he give you an orgasm, Robert Mitchum?
We can move on to something.
Why? This is fascinating to me that you cheated.
Obviously, it was a nice evening.
Yeah, he has the drink, and you're easy. I mean, you go
Oh,
right.
I'm easy.
Like you didn't even.
You didn't even have dinner.
My feet were on the table during the drink.
You knew when he asked you for a drink, you were going to fuck him.
2 feet were on that bar.
So you go for drinks. Were you afraid that people would see that you were having a drink with a man?
No, it's business.
I
We
see.
just done the show.
Monkey business.
Yeah, we just done the show.
So no hesitation at all, and you're sitting
Oh,
there
yeah, you're shocked, but also you're just swept off your feet.
And so,
Like, where do they go? Do they go to a hotel?
of course,
Somewhere in Santa Barbara. I really
went back to his place.
No, we went to a very pretty place in Santa
Listen, everyone who was involved is dead. You don't have to worry. What do you mean? You're acting like this is going to be in the National Enquirer. It's Robert Mitchum. For God's sake.
Nobody you know when they
Nobody
talk about
cares.
these names
Yeah,
and
right.
they say they say who cares?
But remember in that day, Robert Mitchum,
It was great.
he was a big star.
Yeah, and he was great.
Would you have left Edgar for Robert Mitchum? Seriously?
I certainly would have thought about it.
Right. And so he takes you
But
back
I would have
to...
left. I would have given Edgar the house.
Right.
I would have given him Melissa.
Hey, that's enough. Who wouldn't want a little beautiful baby like Melissa? So here, Edgar, you raised this thing.
I'm off with Robert Mitchum.
Yeah, give us a call.
Was there any part of you hoping that he would knock you up that night? And
Oh
that
my!
you'd
No,
have a
I never
baby?
thought about that. Wouldn't that be great?
Well, he fucked you without a rubber, right? I mean, back in those days, they didn't even have rubbers.
Yeah, this was free
Those days, you use cloth.
Right. He fucked you through a sheet. No, seriously. He entered you without any...
We're gonna. Can we please?
Why?
That's enough.
No, it isn't. It's not enough.
Did Melissa know? Have you talked
No,
to her?
she doesn't ask you.
And did you call Edgar that night and go, hi, honey?
Could be a little
What's
late.
the excuse?
Hi, Edgar. I would be a little bit late. You weren't out the whole night, were
Now,
you?
you walk the dog.
Did you do that? You're going to need to walk the dog tonight.
It's a reality.
Did you spend the whole night with Robert Mitchum?
No.
You left. He fucked you and he threw you out.
Well, you remember you really taped from 5 to 7.
Right.
So you had from 7 to 11:30. Not
Yeah.
tragic.
Yeah, right. And so he didn't.
I meant nothing to him. I can assure you.
Yeah, right.
But
And then you did the walk of shame, right?
oh, the walk of shame.
You're all dressed up for the Tonight Show. Your
Hair
hair's all
all
messed up.
Lipstick's a little.
Lipstick all messy from semen stains on your chin. I mean, it's... Did you blow him?
I'm not going there.
Tell me the truth.
I can't remember.
You remember every detail of that. Tell me when you masturbate, you don't think about Robert Mitchum entering you. You're like, oh, Bob.
Well, now you think how old they are.
I mean, but seriously, when you mentioned that you masturbate, do you ever say, oh, wow, do you think about Robert Mitchum nude?
No. But I do see the movies. It's so funny.
Do you go back and watch the movies?
Yes.
Yes. And do you get wet?
No, but I just think, oh, my God.
Wow.
There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Look
so
at
great.
you.
Well, at this age, all you got is memories.
Did you ever try to make it happen again with him? Did you ever?
No.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Mr. Mitchum.
I would say every night, we should have him back on the show.
Too bad we can't.
Hey, come on, guys. How about instead of Cher, let's get Robert Mitchum.
Was he your only famous guy that you had?
The only famous. No, there's another one. There was an actor. But
Who was the other one?
New York actor.
What was his name?
Gabe Dell.
Gabe Dell?
Yeah.
You're going to put him in the same league?
No, you asked.
Did you call him Bob or Robert Mitchum? Or you didn't just Mr. Mitchum?
Mr. Mitchum.
Oh, Mr. Mitchum.
It
Oh,
sounds
Mr.
like
Mitchum.
it sounds like you only knew him for a few short minutes. So it's like you probably didn't call him anything, right? But have you ever touched yourself thinking about Robert Mitchum?
I'm not going to go
Why?
there.
Why not? Why not go there?
No. But because
What do you
he's
mean, no?
old now, and you just it's so.
Isn't he
he's
dead?
dead. He's dead.
old now.
That's old.
He's dead. Who cares if you jerk off to Robert Mitchum? I
You don't
mean,
want to jerk off to dead people.
I mean, my God. Oh, you wouldn't jerk off because he's dead.
Well,
But did you sometimes, when you were in bed with Edgar, go, oh, if this was Robert Mitchum?
well, one does have fantasies.
Yeah. But none of your cheating was an ongoing affair. It was always a one-night stand? Or
Gabe Dell was a big affair.
Gabe Dell.
And I left Edgar over that.
You did?
Really?
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
So how did you end up back with
3
Edgar?
weeks, and then I just thought, this is crazy.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, Gabe
Look
was.
at you, you wild woman.
Yeah.
Man, you were out there fucking like a rabbit.
Oh, you have no idea.
I mean, Gabe
I barely
Dell?
had a chance to write jokes.
I mean, Gabe Dell said to you, listen, I want to be with you.
No, I think it scared Gabe.
It did.
But yeah, we started together on a Broadway show, and you have this big, intense, you're on the road, and you're bringing it in, you're working late at night and all that stuff, and you're kissing on stage, bing, 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 bing. And then the show closed, and they continued a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it got too...
It was too...
And he liked me. He used to sit in front of my house. I was with Edgar and smoke cigarettes.
Oh, wow.
Like a stalker.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was scary.
He wanted you.
He
And Edgar
wanted
never
me.
never caught on to any of this? The
I think
guy
Edgar
sitting in
knew.
the-
I think Edgar
Really?
knew somewhere was Gabe.
Let's dig up Gabe and let's dig up Robert Mitchum and we'll have a whole show.
Let's see what they were buried with and get the jewelry.
So you think Edgar knew that you were cheating
I
with
think
Gabe
he knew
Dell?
that. I think he knew.
Wow. Oh,
Well, that's the way it goes.
did he ever confront you?
No. No, Edgar's English.
You whore. Hey, you whore.
Melissa, tell the whore to come downstairs.
Come here. Your mother the whore.
Go get the whore.
Wasn't it true you had a night of passion with Larry Fine of the Three Stooges?
No.
Oh, yes. And that, you see how I glow?
Talk about Larry Fine and him entering.
How with a
How
banana.
he didn't use a rubber.
Use a banana
He had a big
peel.
red nose on. No, but
How could you? Don't you laugh when you realize these guys had sex lives?
no, I understand.
Like
but
the Three Stooges.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They
You know,
actually had sex with people.
if
yeah.
you know anything about the Three Stooges, the amazing thing is that Curly, the shaved head one,
Right.
he was the ladies' man. That Mo was married, Larry was married. Curly would fuck like a rabbit, and he was so tortured because in the Three Stooges they wanted him to have a shaved head and they wanted to keep him fat, and he was a phenomenal ballroom dancer who loved women and fucked like crazy, and he was the ladies' man. And who would believe that? If you read the history of the Three Stooges, which I have because I love them, and I would have thought you would have been one of the conquests of Curly.
Oh, what about the Marx Brothers?
Do you still remember? Was Robert Mitchum the best-looking guy you ever banged in your entire life?
Just the most masculine. It was the whole
Masculine,
package.
right.
He was the package. Yeah.
Right.
Everything.
And when he was a cigarette smoker, and so were you back in the day, right?
No, but I let him smoke.
You did. He smoked after he banged you.
Yeah, he used to put the ashes in my belly button. Oh, Bob, you silly boy.
Go ahead. Use me as your ashtray, Bob.
Use me as your ashtray. I don't care.
He could have wrecked your life.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
What a scandal.
But you know how great to have a couple of good memories like that.
Oh, absolutely. Do you remember like the size and shape of his penis?
No.
You don't? Like, is it not that detailed?
Those were different kind of days. You didn't kind of like look that much.
But when a guy is that hot and when he enters you, do you come immediately? Do you just...
Can we just change?
Do you have an orgasm immediately?
Can we go back to my book, please?
Was that the first time you had an orgasm?
No. Oh,
Edgar never gave you an orgasm in a minute.
Why were you out of your mind?
Yeah, I'm out of my mind. Don't you know? What am I doing on a family television show? Was he much bigger?
Let me ask you.
Was Robert Mitchum bigger than Edgar?
Yes, he was.
His penis, I mean. Was it thicker and bigger?
Why don't we call... I wonder what do we tell the wife's alive?
I'm going to dig them all up and compare penis size. Is it true that you let Ed Sullivan finger you? That is
He wouldn't have remembered.
Let's get back to your book. Oh, he would have remembered.
Ed Sullivan at 50 was early Alzheimer's.
He was, right? Was that true, or was it just that
No. He would... I remember one time they treated him like gold. He was saying had to do a commercial, and he did it 5 times, and 5 times he did it wrong. They were going to put it into the show.
Was it that he couldn't really... He wasn't showbiz and he couldn't read?
He just couldn't do it. And he had a wonderful son-in-law named Bob Precht, who treated him let's try it again, Ed. Let's try it again.
Wow.
And the 5th time, finally, Bob said, that's fine, Ed.
And you saw this personally because you used to appear on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Yeah, a lot.
Was that like the most pressure in your career, the Ed Sullivan Show?
It was insane.
More than even Johnny Carson, because that was a primetime Sunday night show. The world was watching. Talk about make or break an appearance.
Talk about, it was live, so everybody was... You did dress rehearsal, which was dead people and Girl Scouts.
Right.
So nobody laughed.
Right.
So they said, well, Joan Rivers is going to do 7.5 minutes tonight. Now you get the nighttime audience, and it goes to 11 minutes.
Wow.
Well, if you've gone longer, that means Edie Gourmet can't sing He Came Into My Life. He can just sing I Came Into.
Yeah, you got to be dead. And Ed could hold a grudge. If you didn't do a good job or you screwed someone else over, if you went to 11 minutes, he would have fucked you good.
When they... one time somebody went short and they came backstage to me and it was all live.
Right.
And they said, stretch. And you know what I said to them? Tell my husband. Because Edgar would have killed me if I added material.
Weren't you on one night with Senor Wences and you ended up making love to him?
Yeah, sure. To his hand.
The one-night stand with Senor Wences?
Yeah, right.
I know.
But, I mean, do you remember like who you used to appear with on there? I mean,
Woody, I have a picture.